Easy still can't get a face-to-face with Donald Trump. The White House has revealed a list of leaders to meet with the US President on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, and Australia is not on it. It includes the UAE, Jordan, Ukraine and the European Union. More than 500 flights are expected to be cancelled today as one of the world's biggest airports shuts down for a superstorm. Jack Hahn has the story.
Hong Kong is in the direct firing line of a supersized typhoon packing wind gusts of 265 kilometres an hour. The system smashing parts of the Philippines already, triggering flash flooding and destruction along with the evacuation of tens of thousands of people. The typhoon now tracking towards China and Hong Kong. The city's airport closing down this afternoon for 2 days. Qantas already suspending services for at least 36 hours. Cathay Pacific cancelling more than 500 flights, triggering major disruptions for Australians that use the airline to get to Asia and also to and from Europe.
Sarah Ferguson has been fired as patron of a children's hospice due to her links to Jeffrey Epstein. The hospice in the west of England say they made the decision after details of the Duchess of York's correspondence with the pedophile were revealed. Suspended late-night TV show host Jimmy Kimmel is headed back to the box. US correspondent Jonathan Kersley has the latest.
Jimmy Kimmel Live was dropped by Disney, the owner of America's ABC network, after the comedian made comments about the suspect charged over the assassination of Charlie Kirk. America's television watchdog had threatened to pull ABC's licence if something was not done about Jimmy Kimmel, and President Donald Trump said the show had been cancelled. He then called on other late-night hosts to also be axed. But now, Disney says the program will return tomorrow night following discussions with Jimmy Kimmel.
And the earth has been moving in the state's far north. A magnitude 3.1 earthquake was recorded near William Creek in the past hour. William Creek is the nearest town to Lake Eyre. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Good morning, Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Brownlow medal winner Matt Rowell says he wants to play in a grand final after he became the second Gold Coast Sun to win football's highest honour. The 24-year-old polled 39 votes, finishing 7 ahead of Collingwood's Nick Dacos and 10 clear of Geelong's Bailey Smith. The Suns midfielder says while it's an honour, team success is what drives him.
I'm very humbled to win this award, but, you know, I don't play for individual accolades. It's like I'm very honoured to win this, but you want to be there in the last day on Saturday.
Audio there thanks to 7. Well, Crows captain Jordan Dawson was the leading vote getter for the club with 27, in a result that saw him finish 4th, while Zach Butters received the most votes at the Power with 21, which saw him finish tied 11th. And it's set to be another day of savouring the premiership for Sturt players and fans, with their colours to be unveiled on the chimney at the Brickworks. Well, there's doubt about the future of Adelaide 36's import Montrezl Harrell and his time at the club. Complications have emerged following a doping violation he was found guilty of in China in the off-season, with reports the Sixers have been unable to navigate through the situation. And South African wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock has reversed his decision to retire and will join their ODI and T20 squads in Pakistan next month. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, partly cloudy, 17 for your Tuesday, partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Thursday, partly cloudy, 21 and 23 on Friday. Right now, it's 7 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Agostino Mitsubishi's demo clearance sale is on right now with loads of demo vehicles that must go.
They're absolutely overstocked, so why pay full price when you could drive away with a feature-packed demo model for less?
Plus, they're including 10 years warranty and cap price servicing with any demo car purchased during the sale.
Agostino Mitsubishi's demo clearance sale is on now. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes. Hurry, stock won't last.
Launch into study at Adelaide University and be part of a supportive learning community. Learn from world-class academics and graduate with the skills and experience to step confidently into your career. Search Adelaide University now.
Dementia is one of the most diagnosed conditions in older Australians, including around 35,000 here in South Australia, and those numbers are expected to almost double in the next 25 years. ECH is dedicated to supporting people to live well with dementia at home, while also offering day programs that bring connection, activity and much-needed respite.
So this afternoon, ECH representatives are going to be joining Leith Forest live in the studio for a special 5AA interactive lounge. They'll be sharing how ECH helps families navigate dementia with practical support, tailored services and programs designed to promote independence and well-being.
The phone lines will also be open so you can ask your questions confidentially off air. Call the Interactive Lounge on 8223 0055, and to find out more, visit ech.asn.au.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's FIVEAA Breakfast.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 after 6, good morning to you and welcome to Tuesday on FIVEAA Breakfast, the 23rd of September. Coming up on the program this morning, we're off to New York. Anthony Albanese, we're expecting to hear from at the United Nations at any point in the next little while to make his speech. Donald Trump will be speaking today at the UN, in large part in protest for what much of the Western world is doing in recognising the Palestinian state, but also we're expecting to hear from him a little bit later tonight, US time, with regard to what he foreshadowed in his Charlie Kirk funeral speech, a major announcement regarding the causes of autism. There's some, the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post have done some reporting on what they think he's going to announce. So we're going to talk a bit about it after 6:30 with the Kids Research Institute Australia Head of Autism, Professor David Trembath, after 6:30 today. Also coming up, it's the weather's turning nicer. Summer not too far away. Businesses are starting to cast a wary eye to what summer trade is going to look like in an algal bloom affected South Australia. So we're going to talk to some after 7 o'clock. What are they forecasting? What are they seeing? How's that going to play out? Is the assistance going to go far enough? We're going to get into the weeds on that story because there's none bigger in South Australia at the moment. Phil Curry will join us. We'll talk federal politics, all that's happening this week. We've got a big jury today and also the new Treasurer of South Australia, the new old Treasurer of South Australia, Tom Koutsantonis, after 8:30. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Yes, he's back in the Treasury hot seat, Tom Koutsantonis, turbocharging the economy, one of the headlines that the Times ran the other day. Now, today's an important day because it's the day after Brownlow Day, which has become, I think, one of the best traditions at the FIVEAA Breakfast Show with Will and I at the helm. And I was licking my lips last night. I said to my kids, you know, he's going to be all over this in the morning. Will.
I was thinking I was going to give it a wide berth. I think I've bored people to death with my Brownlow thoughts over the years, haven't I?
As a mug punter, now this might embarrass you. I'd never heard of Matt Rowell until he won it. Well, I clearly haven't been paying attention because he's clearly quite a good player and I don't want to take anything away from him. But how did Naziah Wanganeen-Miller not get the 3 votes in what everyone has described as the greatest quarter ever played by a human being in the history of AFL football? Over to you, Will.
You want me to do my rant from every year? I tell you why, David, because we entrust the role of awarding the highest honour in Australian football to the only people who turn up to the football with a job to do other than determining who played well. That's why. Everyone else, from the fans to the media to the coaches, are all sitting there going, who's having an effect? Who's playing? Because I've either got to describe it, I've got a game plan for it, I'm chatting with my mate about it on the hill. But the umpires aren't. What are they thinking? Is that a free kick? Are we being over officious? Is the game getting out of control? They're not thinking about these things, right? So then, and they're not allowed to look at the stats either after the game.
Why not? Why aren't they?
I don't know.
Why can't they put their votes in the next day?
Which is why you get a scenario where I think in the first 10 rounds there were 3 occasions where Matt Rowell was adjudged to have been the best player on the field, yet by the coaches' awards, right, he got 0 votes in 3 of those. 3 games where the umpire saw him as the best. Neither coach saw him as one of the best 5 people on the ground. Now, this is not to take it away from Matt Rowell. He's a wonderful footballer. He's terrific. He's probably the second best midfielder on his team. Noah Anderson was everyone's favourite. Noah Anderson has a really boring haircut. Sorry, Noah. terrific footballer,
Well, that was a
doesn't
mistake.
stand out, which is
That's a
really
good point.
Jordan Dawson suffered a bit from this as well, I think, in the count. A lot of 2 votes from Jordan Dawson.
You need like a Bailey Smith porn star moustache and the Bjorn Borg haircut.
I think all good agents will be telling their players from now on that you need a good haircut. The one that is inexcusable.
Get there with like a rainbow wig from the Royal Show.
Nazia Wanganeen Miller are not getting 3 votes for arguably playing the greatest game of football. Like in a sport where it's hard to single-handedly win a game of...
How can the
He won the game.
That's like the equivalent of someone having their head actually pulled off from their shoulder blades and the ump standing right in front of it and going, play on. and that really does nothing to dissuade people from the oft-heard assertion that the umps are just bloody hopeless.
Well,
like how can you be within 10 kilometres of the stadium when Nazia Wanganeen Miller is playing that day and not realise he's the best player ever?
I actually think this is the moment the Brownlow died last night.
Oh, totally.
This is the
It's
moment.
dead.
Have a listen to the room.
St Kilda, Melbourne, C. Petrarca, 1 vote. St Kilda, N. Wanganeen Miller, 2 votes. Melbourne, J. Viney, 3 votes.
People are almost
Melbourne,
booing. There's almost a riot at the Brownlow amongst footballers who are saying, "Oh, come." So,
most of the laughter was coming from the Melbourne table too. Now, I always like seeing a GSM good sturt man getting,
yes,
the accolades. But like Viney was laughing more than anyone.
Jack Viney had 23 touches and a goal. Nazia Wanganeen Miller had 34 touches. He kicked 4 goals, including the last 2, and that won the game in one of the most remarkable comebacks ever.
Too. Now, you're the brains of football, well, not me. I've seen goals at school football that were as good as goal of the year.
Which was Noah. Maybe they felt bad for Noah Anderson, so they thought they better give him something.
And the other thing was mark of the year actually a mark.
Did they get anything right on the night?
Well, it's good to see Richard Goyder's still up there, though.
Yes. Just casting a calming presence over everything.
He did such a good job at Qantas.
I actually think on the Nazia Wanganeen Miller, I think there's an opportunity for the AFL. There was 2. I'll tell you something. This is true in our household. People say this on radio. They make up these stories. This is 100% true. And you know me, I'm a Brownlow skeptic. Every year I go, I'm not going to watch this garbage anymore. I have to watch it now to do my obligatory rant about how stupid the whole thing is and how much it actually now detracts from the professionalism of the AFL because it is, it's frankly an eyesore. The whole thing is a disgrace. But last night I watched it because I was hoping Jordan Dawson might win it all the same. It would be great for the Adelaide captain, and I thought he'd be a real show. When the Nazia Wanganeen Miller thing happened, I made a family decision. I just turned the TV off and went to bed.
Did you really?
Yep. I turned it off and went, that's
boycott.
it. I can't support this. This is absolute garbage. So much so, I think that game now should be used by the AFL as a 2.5-hour entry point to any job related to football. Like, I think if you want to sell chips in the concessions at Adelaide Oval, you have to watch that game, and at the end they say, who was the best player? And if you say anything other than Nazia Wanganeen Miller, 2 things happen. 1, you don't get the job selling chips in the concourse at Adelaide Oval, and 2, your citizenship actually gets revoked.
I was going to say
you just get sent to somewhere else.
Deported.
You're just not, sorry, you're not up to it.
Go back to where you came from.
You're not up to being Australian.
Even if you came from, Glen Iris.
Nah, we Nauru. We just fire it up.
Right.
And anyone who saw
Offshore
that game
detention.
and didn't think he was the best on, those people are dangerous and they don't have a place in modern society.
Un-Australian. Some might say Wolves jumped the shark this morning. I disagree. I reckon that's an apt and opposite response.
Genuinely.
Proportionate response, rather.
Unbelievable.
It was amazing.
Paddy makes the point too. This year's young player of the year in the AFL was Sean Manor, who's 27 years of age. Like, are they taking Michael? Are we being punked as football fans? What in the hell is going on?
How the hell did that happen? A 27-year-old. I'm surprised Dangerfield didn't get it. He's showing real promise. Well, let us know what you think, folks. I didn't want to sound rude about the guy who won, but in all seriousness, like when I said last night in front of Jim, who's like you, he knows everyone who's what their draft picks are and what
he was the number 1 pick, Rao.
Yeah, well, yeah. So clearly a very good player, but as a hot and cold fan like me, I'm serious when I say I'd never heard of him.
Yeah,
because he's one of those guys who
he's not flashy.
No one comes in on Monday and says, "What about bloody Matt Rowell. And the same one they say, what about bloody Dacos? What about bloody Dangerfield?
Mm.
You know, like Sam Mitchell the other night, I'm looking forward to Patrick Dangerfield quitting, like retiring. Like no one's ever said anything like that about Matt Rowell.
In all seriousness, the problem with this whole thing, Faces, is that this is a quaint artefact of the history of football, getting the umpires to do this vote, and it doesn't stand up in an era where you've got 72 different football shows analysing every angle. Every single football game is broadcast. You've got champion data breaking down and creating a statistical analysis for everybody's impact on the game, and half the country plays super coach or dream team and are acutely across players' impact and stats. Like, it just doesn't stand up in that era, and it needs to be retired, I think.
Mm.
We might pose that as a jury question a little bit later.
Yeah, is the Brownlow over? No votes.
Let's get into some news headlines. We'll do it after. I need to catch my breath. I was going to not do that this year.
We should play it again later.
You poked me.
We just played it on a loop this morning. Sylvia says, how do you stay relevant in your job when you say you've never heard of Matt Rowell? Boo-hoo, Dawson didn't win. I couldn't give a toss, Sylvia, who wins the Brownlow. We're talking about the credibility of it. And, yeah, I will happily die on a hill proudly saying I've never heard of Matt Rowell, because a lot of our listeners haven't heard of him either.
18 after 6.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey, don't get too close to the road.
She rides from the top of the driveway to test how fast she can go. And suddenly...
Wait, stop!
She's testing your brakes too. Stop and take time to ensure your car stops in time and the brakes are all you hit. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camping gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of bull bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
At Coles, save with half-price specials on vitamins. Like half-price Nature's Way Kids Smart Vita Gummies, Multivitamin Plus or Vitamin C plus Zinc, 120-pack, now just $16. Excludes everyday down and clearance items. Follow the directions for use. Offer ends Tuesday.
Fuel costs, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motor Pass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork, just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motor Pass. Terms and conditions apply.
Is IBS ruling your life? Are uncomfortable IBS symptoms like abdominal discomfort, bloating, diarrhea or constipation constantly ruining your plans? Caruso's new IBS Fighter Probiotic to the rescue. Caruso's IBS Fighter Probiotic contains a powerful blend of beneficial bacteria to relieve symptoms of medically diagnosed IBS such as bloating and discomfort. So if you're tired of letting IBS ruin your plans, try Caruso's IBS Fighter Probiotic today from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey, don't get too close to the road. Wait, stop!
Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
21 minutes after 6, we were hoping to chat with Jonathan Kersley with regard to Anthony Albanese speaking at the UN in the General Assembly in New York. He's tied up. It may well have something to do with the fact that Donald Trump is speaking at the moment about what he says is, what he promoted yesterday as a revelation with regard to the cause of autism. It's going to mean changes to recommendations for what we would call paracetamol, they call Tylenol in the United States, and how much you can have when pregnant. We're going to speak to an Australian expert after 6:30 and try to get some answers on this, because there's going to be a huge story over the course of the day.
Any mainstream scientists listening to this program, any real scientists who work in actual hospitals and have got actual science degrees, would be looking at this with Robert F. Kennedy in the background going, yep, okay, let's pay close attention to this one to see how rooted in actual science it is.
We're going to speak to an actual scientist after 6:30 to get a bit of a sense about that. Some news headlines. A 61-year-old woman is in a critical condition after being hit by a train in Adelaide's inner north on Monday afternoon. This sounded awful, this story. Emergency services rushed to Dudley Park railway station around 5:20 after reports that someone was in distress. Witnesses claim the woman slipped from the platform and onto the tracks, with neighbours reporting that they had heard some screaming. Here is Asad Jatil from 9 News.
We just got out of the home and saw that the police and ambulance and everyone was there, and they were trying to pull somebody from the tracks. Then I heard some screams as well.
This is good news for young children. Doctors have described a needle-free flu vaccine for children. From next year, kids aged between 2 and 5 will be able to access the Flu Mist nasal spray through their doctor for free. Dr. Sian Goodson says hopefully it'll see more children getting vaccinated.
It actually works very well, these intranasal sprays, and they've been shown to work very well in other countries. So they've been used in England and America previously with great effect. So they work well, they're safe, they're easy to administer, and it really will help reduce flu cases.
I wonder if there are kids around today that'll be, by the time their grandparents will be talking about to wide-eyed children. You know, we used to have they'd get this long metal good thing, point. And they jam it in your arm, and that's how we used to take vaccinations or medicines.
Well, there might be people listening who can still remember having leeches put on their body for medical reasons, or certainly their parents would have. That was still happening at the turn of the century, or the previous century, 19th century into the 20th.
It just feels like that's the way of the future, doesn't it?
Or smelling salts.
Smelling salts? Always like doing. They have the smelling salts with the weightlifters. Used to walk out there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's right.
Sharpen the mind.
Having things like syrup of figs for constipation. All sorts of nasties.
The Liberals have rejected the government claims that Frank Pangallo has not provided updated documents about the source of the algal bloom. He sent through correct links for the documents directly to PIRSA via the Budget and Finance Committee clerk in the afternoon yesterday. The various scientific papers discuss links between desal plants and harmful algal blooms. Let's have a look at the weather for today and the rest of the week. Pretty stable weather pattern as described yesterday. That said, quite a cool start this morning, 7.6 degrees outside. Adelaide, the coolest coolest major city in Australia outside of Canberra, at 7.6 degrees as we speak. 17 the expected top today, so it's not going to be a warm one. 18 tomorrow, then it will get warm. 21 on Thursday, 23 on Friday. Beautiful day on Friday. Cooling down a little bit for the weekend, 18 on Saturday and a drizzle of rain. Sunday, 18 and a drizzle of rain as well. And early next week, Monday, 19 up to 5 mils of rain. So a little bit on the way there. Tom Renner's in the 5AA Breakfast Studio. Can't wait to get his thoughts on what transpired last night at the Brownlow. We've got a lot of texts coming through on that as well on the Police Home Care text line. We'll get to those shortly.
Scathing.
Call Glider Oil now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September. Receive 2 extra handsets. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Yeah, look, no issues with Matt Rao winning the award. He's an amazing player, but I think the circumstance that it happened in last night, it's probably the first time in a long time, at least, that I can remember where it reached farcical scenes at times, didn't it? I think the crowd was laughing when the Nazai Wanganeen-Millera was given 2 votes in that game. We've got the audio. Have a listen to how the crowd
St
reacted.
Kilda, Melbourne, C. Petrarca, 1 vote. St Kilda, N. Wanganeen-Millera, 2 votes. Melbourne, J. Viney, 3 votes. North Melbourne, Geelong.
So
Geelong, M.
In that game, that was the game when Wanganeen-Millera kicked 2 goals in the last 45 seconds to first tie it, then to win it. 34 touches, 4 goals. Jack Viney, I love him. Great player. He had 23 touches. Seemed like tacklers were getting rewarded last night. Jordan Dawson against the Crows, 16 touches in round 4. Dawson had 31. Game was decided by a point. Dawson didn't get a vote. Rao got 3. It was Jesse Hogan, 22 touches, 7 goals against Geelong. They won the game by 4 points, no votes. Look, it's hard to pick the best 3 all the time, but there were some times last night where you just went, what is going on?
We're not even close.
Not even close.
That's the problem. If there's a little, like, it doesn't matter who you got to decide the award. There would be years where people go, I don't agree with that. But there would be, I think, you could pick up just about any other stakeholder in football to be responsible for the decision, and you'd get disagreement, but you wouldn't get bewilderment, which is what we have at the moment, where looked like a random number generator sometimes last night.
It was bizarre, wasn't it? And Noah Anderson at times was clearly the best player on the ground to all and sundry. Wasn't getting votes and Rao was getting 3.
Noah Anderson had nearly 40 touch games where he just...
Yeah.
Again, he's just got a boring haircut. The boring haircuts don't win Brownlows.
I reckon it's cruel, though. Like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I felt sorry for Nick Dacos.
Yeah.
Because of the huge hype, all the public discussion around it, he was almost at unbackable odds to win.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual broadcast, it's a form of cruelty to keep leading him along by the nose, thinking that he's in with a chance.
Yeah.
When this guy gets 4 threes in the first 4 rounds, and it's almost over from the start.
It was, wasn't it? It was bizarre. I don't know what the solution is. Do we give it to a panel like they do in the NBA, with MVP, media and other experts,
coaches, combine them,
and do it that way? Or, I love the Brownlow, but last night you kind of were watching, and it was almost funny.
Is there anything the AFL hasn't stuffed up this year?
It's not been a great
apart
year.
from gather round, which is great, but
it hasn't been a great year for the AFL.
No,
the draw, scheduling,
like first game of the season that was washed out. Remember,
the gather,
round zero.
Yeah. They just don't listen to people, do they?
No.
I don't know what the solution is. Look, for those waking up saying, how did Jordan Dawson go? 27 votes. He finished 4th. He was never really in it, was he? He was 12 behind Rowell in the end. And Zach Butters had 21.
He did well, Butters.
He did well. Look, one that I think if you're looking for someone to follow next year, I think he's a vote getter. He just got injured for a lot of it, but he got votes early on when he played. Jason Horne-Francis, I think, is one of those guys that
totally
catches the eye. Stay on him. He will get a lot of votes over his career, and he's a great player. But I think he's a real vote getter. But it was a strange night. What did you boys make of it? Bewilderment. I think that was a good word.
Yeah, heard Will before.
Yeah,
he wants people deported for if they don't realise it.
People think I'm joking on the text line.
I wasn't. Deadly serious.
I want an ice unit to be developed for anyone who thinks Isaiah Wanganeen Miller didn't get 3 votes in that game.
With that game, you only had to watch the last 2 minutes to say that guy's the most influential on their feet. Didn't you? Watch the last 60 seconds, that guy.
I think there are people spinning in orbit that didn't have access to the game that are aware that Isaiah Wanganeen Miller was the best player in that game.
There's people in Brazil who live in the Amazon with those orange frisbees in their bottom lip, and they go, when they talk.
And that's 3 votes in Isaiah Wanganeen Miller.
That's how you say 3 votes, Wanganeen Miller.
Yeah.
How you say it in the Quechua language.
I think they killed the Brownlow, Reddy.
They did, didn't they?
I think they killed it.
They could have.
It's dead. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah. Right, some good laughs over the years. I'm going to get some come up with new material next year.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
So we need the text messages. What's the solution? I guess now, how do we adjudicate this award, or do we just keep it going, or do we scrap it? Where does it go from here?
Yeah, love it. Good on you, Reddy.
Chimney getting painted double blue today too.
Yes, at the Brickworks.
As it rightly should be.
Yes.
I wonder if anyone's done the 48 hours on the RAS.
Well, first time for
through.
First time for Sturt at the new Brickworks that they've had it. The first time since 2017. Big moment for them today. You're going to go up there and help them.
No, I got a bit on.
Okay,
got a bit of newspaper stuff on, but no, it's a players thing. There's a big welcome for the players tomorrow at Unley, though, apparently, in the afternoon.
Beautiful.
Good on you, Reddy.
Thanks, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy, 17 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
The White House has revealed a list of leaders to formally meet with US President Donald Trump at the UN General Assembly, and Australia is not on it. US correspondent Jonathan Kersley has more.
No meeting had been locked in between US President Donald Trump and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt rattled off a list of meetings Donald Trump will have while in New York. It included the UAE, Jordan, Ukraine and the European Union, but not Australia. It leaves a window of opportunity for the Prime Minister to see the US President in person at an evening reception tomorrow. Just yesterday, Australia, along with the United Kingdom and Canada, now France, announced a recognition of a Palestinian statehood. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt suggested the President was not best pleased.
Frankly, he believes it's a reward to Hamas.
Investigations are continuing into an incident at the Dudley Park railway station just after 5 last night. Witnesses say a 61-year-old woman slipped and fell on the tracks and was hit by a train. The victim is in a critical condition. The morning commute on the Gawler line is not affected. The RAA is calling for SA's road safety ratings to be released. It comes after the star ratings for hundreds of thousands of kilometres of interstate roads were released publicly for the first time today. Each road is rated on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, with 5 stars being the safest, taking into account risk factors such as lane and shoulder width, speed limit, presence of barriers or rumble strips and more. SA electronics manufacturer Redarc has completed the first stage of a $50 million defence and space hub at Lonsdale, south of Adelaide. Redarc's managing director, Anthony Kittle, says it'll bring together engineers, technicians and defence experts.
This is a multi-year commitment right through to 2032. Obviously, we want to grow the number of our key people to about 200 over that period, and expanding the facilities, investing in the latest equipment that we need for all of the testing and the manufacturing of the electronic products for the defence and also the space sector. So, yeah, it's a long-running program.
There are calls for the federal government to act quickly on the latest Optus outage. A custodian is reportedly being considered to oversee the service. Telecommunications consultant Paul Butter says it's the second Optus 000 failure in 2 years.
This is national infrastructure. Our society and our economy depends on it. So the government now needs to lead leadership and say, OK, let's go to the bottom of this.
Instagram has launched a new age check system for Australian users using AI to spot accounts which may belong to teenagers. The program adds extra safety settings for anyone suspected to be under 18, limiting who can contact them and what content they see. The Albanese government's planned ban on social media for under 16s is set to begin in December. And the Jimmy Kimmel suspension is over. The late-night talk show host will return to his program on Tuesday night, American time. He was benched following a controversial monologue surrounding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Gold Coast midfielder Matt Rowell has taken out this year's Brownlow medal with a whopping 39 votes. He finished 7 clear of Collingwood's Nick Dacos, while Geelong midfielder Bailey Smith was third with 29. Crows captain Jordan Dawson finished fourth with 27 votes. Well, let's stick with football. Essendon's Andrew McGrath insists all players are behind coach Brad Scott. Bombers captain Zach Merritt has met with Hawthorn, while ruckman Sam Draper will move to Brisbane as a free agent. McGrath says the coach isn't the reason for the exodus.
Stand behind Scotty. He's been an awesome mentor for all of us. I think we've been riddled with injury, as it's been reported, pretty heavily, and we understand that. We know that. We know getting those players back doesn't necessarily warrant results either, but we're super committed to where we're at.
And Max Gawn is confident Christian Petrarca will be at Melbourne next year. The Norm Smith medalist has been linked with a move to Adelaide after seeking a trade last season. The Demons captain says ahead of the Brownlow medal he's optimistic Petrarca will stay.
At this stage, from what I'm hearing, and I'm sitting with him tonight, is Chuck will be a Melbourne player next year, and he's pretty keen to do that. But yeah, trade period can throw up some spanners.
Briefly, in other sport, Christian Horner has officially left Red Bull's Formula One team, reportedly receiving a $106 million payout. And the Wallabies have belief they can upset the All Blacks in Saturday's first Bledisloe Cup clash. Australia heads into the clash on top of the Rugby Championship table. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, heading for a top of 17 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 18, 21 on Thursday and 23 on Friday. Right now it's 8 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 7. We're talking algal bloom after 7 o'clock this morning. As the weather starts to warm up, people's minds turn to summer. That means holidays. Does it mean getting together with friends at the beach and going out for a kiosk along the coast? Or does it mean doing something different this year? Well, that's the question confronting small business owners in South Australia and operators. We're going to be talking about that after 7 o'clock. Some international news this half hour. We take you to the United States, where the Prime Minister has just been speaking at the United Nations General Assembly. Have a listen.
A cycle of violence that has crushed generations. We saw that in the horrific events of October 7, 2023. Hamas terrorists descending on a festival promoting friends, love and infinite freedom to perpetrate atrocities. One Australian, Galit Carbone, was among those killed. Australia embraces all who carry the weight of grief. We repeat our call for the hostages to be returned immediately and with dignity.
So that's the Prime Minister at the UN General Assembly recognising the state of Palestine. The UK did it, France have done it, Canada, a whole heap of Western nations.
Aren't all the points he just made like a good argument against recognising Palestine yet? Like, did he got the sort of wrong dot points for the conclusion that he's drawn? I don't know. Like, it's exhausting.
I tell you, the one thing that won't be happening today that we suspect, I think about a week ago, there was started to be some whispers that at this meeting of the UN General Assembly, perhaps on the sidelines of it, we might finally get an Anthony Albanese, Donald Trump face-to-face meeting. There's still lots to talk about when it comes to things like tariffs, when it comes to the future of AUKUS. There's a good argument to be made that we need the PM in front of Donald Trump advocating for some of these causes, making sure he's still interested in our part of the world and invested in it and so forth. Well, it's not going to happen, and it's not because Donald Trump hasn't got any time to meet other leaders. Have a listen to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt outlining what Donald Trump's got on today and which country doesn't feature.
The president will depart to New York City ahead of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The president will also be hosting bilateral meetings with the UN Secretary General and the leaders of Ukraine, Argentina, and the European Union. The president will also later in the day hold a multilateral meeting with Qatar, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Turkey, Pakistan, Egypt, the UAE, and Jordan. After these important meetings, the president will attend a reception tomorrow night with more than 100 world leaders before returning to Washington, D.C.
He's literally meeting 100 world leaders.
We had this school dance every year in Cosgrove Hall at Marion High, and I can remember it was 1984. I won't say her name on air because she might be listening. It'd be a bit embarrassing, but I asked this girl out to the dance. I said, "Do you want to come to the school social with me?" And she said, "Oh, I'd love to, but I can't." I said, "Oh, you've already gone with somebody else." And she went, "No."
Oh, that's rough.
So she didn't have another date. She just didn't want to go with me. And it was a life lesson. It's one of these things today you'd probably get treatment for. Maybe in hindsight I should have had treatment for it. But it's an apt story to tell in that context, isn't it? Because Albo is
you,
the guy who can't, for the life of him, get a date to the dance with someone who could quite easily go with him, but just doesn't want to.
Just doesn't want to. Literally meeting a dozen other countries and going to a ball with 100 leaders.
How nervous will Albo be if this meeting finally actually happens? Because there's so many things they can have fights over. There's so many things that because Trump will be spewing with Canada, UK, Australia over the Palestinian statehood stuff.
Well, the reason for optimism would be Trump stood next to Keir Starmer, the British PM, shortly after he'd made a proclamation acknowledging the existence of the Palestinian state, and Trump was very friendly in that meeting that they had with the public part of it, and said, "Oh, look, that's something we disagree on, but we didn't disagree on much." It's starting to having a weird look to it.
Yeah, it's funny.
It just has a weird look to it.
Maybe, I mean, given that our ambassador is massively on the record as saying that he thinks that Trump is a dangerous lunatic, maybe it wouldn't be surprising if that's the reason.
Wasn't a great icebreaker. One thing Donald Trump has been busy doing is, as he mentioned during the Charlie Kirk Memorial, is he's just finished speaking with regard to an announcement about what his government is saying is the cause of autism. Have a listen.
Instead of attacking those who ask questions, everyone should be grateful for those who are trying to get the answers to this complex situation. You know, there's something artificial. They're taking something. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
So Tylenol being what we call paracetamol here in Australia. Professor David Trembath is from the Kids Research Institute of Australia, the head of autism research. This is what Professor Trembath has dedicated his life to. Professor, good morning to you. You've doubtless been listening to what the US President has said. What's the evidentiary basis for the link between paracetamol use during pregnancy and autism, if any?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Dave and Will. Look, autism, we know, is explained by genetics with occasionally some environmental influences. But when it comes, and a whole lot of, things have been looked at in that regard. So things like diet and air pollution and exposure to medications and a whole bunch of things. And so paracetamol is one of these things in the mix. And it's something that we've been looking at for a long time. Basically, the evidence is very much inconclusive. And even when there is an association, it's incredibly small. It's like going from 1% to 1.2%. So there's a lot of alarm, and it's really unnecessary and unfounded.
What about hearing the President with Robert F. Kennedy perched on his shoulder there, Professor Trembath? And we know that Robert Kennedy, with no actual mainstream scientific accreditation, has made comments about vaccinations that are now seeing huge outbreaks in states like Texas, where there's the sort of, libertine political sensibilities. People now seeing resurgence in communities of whooping cough, a lot of kids getting really sick. Do you worry that this is faddish nonsense, not to put too fine a point on it?
Yeah, look, we really need to concentrate on the things that we know that are important, and we've got to stop wasting time and energy and resources, on things that have been long disproven. All of us in the research community, we're all looking for clear answers, and when we have situations where old kind of myths are being rehashed and repropagated and whatnot, it really takes us away from the core business of actually helping kids and families. And it also creates a whole lot of unnecessary concern in the community as well. So it's just really unhelpful and unfortunate that we're having to kind of go over this same old ground.
Yeah. Are there risks too with, the sort of cold turkey avoidance of paracetamol during pregnancy? And I'm trying to imagine a scenario like a pregnant mother has a really bad fever, which is often a scenario in which you might take something like that. I presume there are risks associated with having a fever too. Do we open up, potential new risks by saying you can't have any of this stuff?
Yeah, look, I think absolutely. So I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't want to comment too much on kind of the risks and benefits and so forth. But I was thinking back, my eldest daughter's 17. I was thinking back to the advice our doctor gave us at the time, my wife and I. And it was things like, when it comes to medications, take the lowest dose that's needed for the least amount of time and basically use common sense. And we just follow the doctor's advice because they're weighing up all of the pros and the cons with each of these things. So that's sort of the clear message. Just keep referring back to doctors who are weighing up all of the evidence and providing very personalised advice.
Some of the genesis of this speculation around causes of autism, or the idea that something has changed recently, is the larger number of diagnoses we're getting. I think it's a 40% increase in Australia over the last 5 years or so. How, as someone who is a researcher in this area, how do you explain the dramatic increase in the number of autism diagnoses we've been seeing both in Australia and the United States in a relatively short period of time?
Yeah, look, there's two main reasons. The first is autism is basically a description, and when the way it's described is changed, so does the prevalence. So basically the criteria that we use to describe autism, that's broadened over the years. So it's more inclusive. It casts a wider web. It catches more children, young people and adults. But there's also the second effect of there's a whole lot more awareness of autism now. And some of the stigma that was really there when, I started in the profession 25 years ago, that's falling away in many cases. So people are more likely to seek a diagnosis. They're more likely to identify if they actually are, if they've grown up showing characteristics of autism and so forth. So there's greater awareness which feeds into greater diagnosis or increased prevalence.
Just reading some of the comments, because this press conference is going on live as we speak, Dr. Trembath. RFK Jr., the Health Secretary in the United States, is saying, I'll pronounce this incorrectly, but Lou Coverin can help children with autism. Do you know does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's basically folic acid or folate. And just like my example with my daughter 17 years ago, the doctor suggests that, make sure you have a good balanced diet, include some folic acid as part of a general kind of approach to health and nutrition. And that advice still stands today. So, folic acid or folate, the research is quite mixed on it. Some studies show that there's a slight positive effect, some show a slight negative effect. There's also an important consideration here of when it comes to folic acid or folate, too little might be a bit of a problem. Too much can also be a bit of a problem. So key message with both of these, paracetamol or folic acid, there might be a slight association, not a causation. That's something different. Where there is an effect, it's very, very, very small. And the key advice is keep talking to your doctor if you've got any questions about this.
Professor David Trembath there, the head of autism research at the Kids Research Institute of Australia. Thanks for joining us this morning.
It's 12 to 7. Lots of texts coming through on the Police Home Care text line. We'll get to those shortly. Police and weather too after the break. But first, let's check traffic. And we'll do that now, then come back, police and weather in a moment.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. At Elizabeth's North, the Carvey Tree, Womma Road near Main North Road. Furl, twisted traffic, Lake Lindburn Road near Marine Road, and slow for works at Morphettville at the moment. Morphett Road just near Anzac Highway for the tram overpass works. Only one to camera, Jetty Road, Larks Bay. Drive away in the latest Vito van from 58,500 and take your business to the next level with Mercedes-Benz Unley vans. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Get saving now with City Discount Tyres. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for four-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttyres.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
Experience the very best of over 50s living at Northern Community Residential Village in Penfield. Set in a serene and peaceful setting, Northern Community Residential Village offers a low-maintenance lifestyle amongst a welcoming community of like-minded people. A new release of stunning homes is now selling from just $450,000. Book a tour of the display home today and picture how bright your future could be. Visit ncrv.com.au for more information.
When it comes to retirement, make your choice Living Choice Australia. Join us on Wednesday the 24th of September at Living Choice Flagstaff Hill for information, tours and a keynote speech from former media professional Marcus Pearce. Marcus will share powerful insights on longevity, purpose and thriving in retirement while giving a vibrant new outlook on retirement living. Whether you're planning or exploring retirement living, join us on Wednesday the 24th of September at 10:30am. RSVP at livingchoice.com.au.
Right now at Formula Honda, drive away in the CR-V Hybrid 24 build from $56,900 or the Honda ZR-V Hybrid 24 build from $51,900. That's a price reduction of $3,000. Plus, get 8 years unlimited kilometre warranty and roadside assist across the entire SUV range. But you'd better hurry. These offers are only available until September 30. T's and C's apply. Test drive at Formula Honda today. Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond or North East Road, Modbury.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
9 minutes to 7, a magnitude 3.1 quake has been recorded near William Creek in just the last hour. The nearest town to Lake Eyre, one of the farthest most parts of South Australia, 3.1. That you feel that depending on the depth. I mean, we've called someone at William Creek. They said they didn't feel a damn thing. But anyway, it's registered officially by Geoscience Australia. Let's talk about the weather that we will experience and feel over the course of the day and the next few days. Mark Andalak at the Bureau joins us. Mark, what's coming up?
Good morning. A bit of a chilly start this morning. Got down to 5.8 degrees just before 4:30 this morning. Then the cloud rolled in and the temperature's currently sitting on 8.5. Almost a carbon copy of yesterday, really. Partly cloudy skies this morning. Should be clearing up to a mostly sunny afternoon, heading for a top of 17 degrees. Tomorrow, 18 degrees. Thursday, 21. Friday, 23 degrees.
Good stuff, Mark. Mark Hanalek there from the Weather Bureau.
All right, let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee joins us. Morning to you, Holly.
Good morning, Dave and Will. How are you?
Yeah, good, Holly. A man's been caught drink driving at Brahma Lodge.
Yeah, that's correct. Just after midnight, police were called to Cross Keys Road, Brahma Lodge, to reports of a crash involving a parked Nissan sedan and a Toyota utility. It was reported that the Toyota had crashed into the parked Nissan, causing the Nissan to crash into a fence, with the Toyota fleeing the scene. Police were quickly in attendance, and the Toyota was tracked to a home in Virginia, where the driver, a 24-year-old man from the property, was located. The driver was not injured and was charged with property damage, leave the scene of an accident, and failed to comply with the breath analysis test. He was issued a 12-month instant loss of licence notice, and he will be summoned to appear in court at a later date.
Also, Holly, an arrest has been made in Two Wells over the theft of a car.
About 1 o'clock this morning, police spotted a stolen Holden on Penfield Road, Virginia. The car took off from police, but after an investigation was later located at a Two Wells home. The alleged driver, a 51-year-old man from Hillbank, was arrested and charged with illegal use of a motor vehicle, and he was bailed to appear in court at a later date. And checks on that car revealed it had been stolen from a business last week.
And finally, Holly, someone's been done for drink driving down at the Bay.
Yeah, another one, unfortunately. Just before 4 o'clock this morning, police were travelling on Anzac Highway when they stopped a Mercedes-Benz for the purpose of a breath test. Will be alleged the driver, a 27-year-old man from Salisbury Downs, returned a positive result of .129. Checks on the driver's licence revealed his licence was disqualified, and the driver was reported for drink driving and drive whilst disqualified. His car was impounded for 28 days, and he will also be summoned to appear in court at a later date.
Good on you, Holly.
Thanks, Holly.
Senior Constable Holly Frisbee there from SAPOL. Well, I'm just looking at the track that Polypedal, one of our longest-running charity cycling events, is going to take. Doesn't go through Glenelg, but does do a bit of coastal work. Henley Beach, Largs Bay, then inland, Clare, Wallaroo, Port Pirie, Burra, Tanunda. It's on through until the 28th of September. It's already started raising money and awareness for veterans of Australia's Special Operations Command and their families. One of those taking part is our next guest, the Shadow Defence Minister, Angus Taylor. Angus Taylor, good morning to you.
G'day, boys. Great to be with you.
So, Angus, this was Tony Abbott's brainchild, wasn't it? It's been going for quite a long time now.
1998 it began, and it's been going pretty much every year since. We missed a year with COVID, but other than that, it's been going all that time. Around 1,000 kilometres each year. We've raised over $7 million for a whole range of causes, the Royal Flying Doctor Service, Carers Australia, but at the moment we're supporting our veterans and have been for a number of years, and particularly this year supporting our Special Forces veterans, helping them get out into civilian life and take on new courses, and absolutely fantastic cause for a wonderful group of people who've served our nation in an extraordinary way, and a number of them are riding with us, and I've got to say they're pretty tough crowd. They certainly raise the standards of the cycling, I can tell you.
Well, you'd be riding with people who've served, like, I don't know if they even tell you, but you probably have like SAS sort of standard.
Oh, absolutely.
People.
Yeah. So, we one of the guys did 8 tours of Afghanistan and a tour of Iraq, and I mean, it's just extraordinary. Yeah, really extraordinary people, and it's such a privilege to be riding with them and hearing from them. They're quiet warriors, and they serve our country with extraordinary distinction, and it can be very tough for them. And in fact, the last few years, I think it has been particularly tough for those working in our special forces. But this is all about raising money for them, helping them as they move on to other things in life. And it's a really brilliant cause. And anyone who wants to contribute, just Google Polypedal and you can find your favourite rider and make a contribution.
Have you got a favourite? Does it get competitive in terms of who? Is it like news poll? Do people sort of want to pay close attention to the numbers?
It does, actually. It does. Tony and I usually compete a fair bit to try and raise the most, but we're doing all right. And as I say, we've raised about $7 million dollars over the years. So,
well, it's a good cause.
It is a wonderful cause and a great event. We get to see places we wouldn't otherwise see. We're in Clare today. I've been to Clare a few times before, but a beautiful, beautiful part of the world, particularly at this time of year. So that's a privilege as well.
Good place for cycling too. Angus Taylor, the Shadow Defence Minister, and also, the organisation Wandering Warriors, not-for-profit organisation dedicated to helping veterans transition to civilian life. You can go direct, but the Polypedal search will get you to it as well. But Wandering Warriors has got its own website too, and amazing and difficult work. Imagine that you do 8 tours of Afghanistan and Iraq, and then you're just back here at your local supermarket.
Yeah, doing a normal job, a 9 to 5.
I reckon that movie American Sniper is such a great account of.
It's brilliant.
The difficulty, and Bradley Cooper in that film is unbelievable.
It's a hard watch, but it
is.
But I think it needed to be for what it was trying to convey.
I really like that guy, the cameo role of the psychiatrist, where he's really blunt with him. Says, you want to save someone? We got soldiers here who need saving.
Yeah.
I love that line.
Yeah, it's terrific.
It's really clever, thoughtful, and a very sympathetic movie, I reckon.
Now, you asked off air a moment ago a question I think that is a pertinent one, given what we've just heard out of the United States with regard to the Donald Trump suggestion that pregnant women should not take Tylenol, paracetamol, what we call paracetamol, any longer because of his view and RFK's Jr.'s view that it causes autism. Kenvue is the largest maker of Tylenol in the United States. And you said, I wonder what the Tylenol people are making of this announcement. It's got to be the worst day in their lives. So their stock dropped 7% today. Interestingly, this year it's dropped by 20% already because people had clearly wind that this was coming. I think there was a report in the Wall Street Journal a couple of months ago that had said this is something that the Trump administration is seriously looking at. So a fifth of the value of that company has been wiped off this year and 7% the last day. Some weirdness in the aftermarket trading as this is all being discussed of it's going up, which I'll be interested to read the analysis of. But anyway, that's the vagaries of aftermarket trading is a bit beyond me. But by and large, it's not a great day if you're in the Tylenol / paracetamol business in the US.
Speaking of weird numbers, how is it, though, that in round 4, this bloke who plays for Gold Coast, what's his name again?
Matt Rowell, yes.
So, round 4.
Yeah.
He had 17 touches, 8 of which were clangers, 2 marks, no goals. In that same game, Riley Thilthorpe had 18 touches and he kicked 5 goals. He didn't get a single vote.
And what, Rowell got 3?
He got 3.
Well, his 9 non-clanger possessions must have been dynamite.
Oh, they were memorable. 4 threes. If you lived in Mumbai rather than Melbourne, you'd look at last night's event and go, okay.
Oh, there'd be a probe.
Where's Hansi Cronje when you need him? Where's Sully Mullick? Like, what's going on? I'm not saying that happened. It just looks like it could have.
Well, that would
if
be
this was in another country.
That would feel like a more reasonable explanation than someone watched the round 20 game between between Melbourne and St Kilda. Went, Nazai Wagner-Miller was only the second best player out there. At 7 o'clock.
Well, we know there's one umpire who's been in strife for that.
That's right. 5AA News coming up in just a moment. Then on the other side of it, we're going to talk summer and algal bloom.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy and 17 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Manage complex neurological conditions at Neurophysio in Eastwood with treatment and group classes. neurophysio.com.au.
It's business as usual this morning on the Gawler line after yesterday's incident. A woman was struck by a train at the Dudley Park railway station just after 5. Witnesses say the 61-year-old slipped and ended up on the tracks. She was taken to hospital in a critical condition. Police are investigating the incident. The MFS has been called to a house at Marston. The alarm was raised on Barnes Avenue just after 6 this morning. The extent of the fire is not known. Well, a stolen Holden was spotted at Virginia in the early hours of this morning. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee says patrols later caught up with it.
The car took off from police, but after an investigation was later located at a Two Wells home. The alleged driver, a 51-year-old man from Hillbank, was arrested and charged with illegal use of a motor vehicle, and he was bailed to appear in court at a later date.
Checks on the car revealing it was stolen from a business last week. Well, the winners for the latest round of tourism vouchers will be announced today. More than 123,000 people registered for the ballot, which this time focuses on areas hardest hit by the algal bloom. A total of 20,000 experience and accommodation vouchers will be allocated. If successful, you'll be notified via SMS and email. The Prime Minister will be competing with more than 100 other world leaders to secure an informal meeting with the US President on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Anthony Albanese has been left off Donald Trump's schedule. The President's itinerary includes talks with the UN Secretary-General and the Presidents of Ukraine, Argentina and the EU. Former Ambassador to the US, Arthur Sinodinos, says the meetings are organised by White House schedulers.
If the President has business with Argentina, EU or some of the others that he's seeing Ukraine, then it's understandable that would take precedence. The relationship is not in that sort of state where there has to be a meeting to resolve some sort of crisis. Leader to leader, we should have a meeting, and sooner rather than later.
Several charities have cut ties with Sarah Ferguson after a leaked email showed her apologising to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Hannah Sinclair reports from London.
At least 6 charities have now cut ties with Sarah Ferguson, including the Teenage Cancer Trust, which she has been a patron of for 35 years. The charities dropping her after a bombshell email emerged, revealing she apologised to pedophile Jeffrey Epstein for publicly disowning him. The email reportedly sent to Epstein in 2011 shows Sarah Ferguson humbly apologised for linking him to pedophilia, saying he was a steadfast, generous and supreme friend to her. But a spokesperson for the Duchess claims she only wrote the note because Epstein was threatening to sue her for defamation. These UK charities haven't hesitated to act, with most saying it's now inappropriate for the Duchess to stay involved with the organisations.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
With everything football, here's Tom Wren.
Yeah, Mel, we're going to start there. Matt Rowell has won the Brownlow medal as Collingwood's Nick Dacos finished second for a second year in a row. The Gold Coast midfielder finished with 39 votes, which included 8 best on-ground performances in the eye of the umpires. Rowell says it's a childhood dream playing in the AFL.
It might sound a little bit arrogant, but I just knew that I wanted to be an AFL player, and I had a feeling that I was going to get there. And yeah, there was nothing really that I thought of doing apart from playing AFL footy. That was the goal growing up.
Audio there thanks to 7. Crow Jordan Dawson polled 4th with 27 votes, while Adelaide's Dan Curtin capped off a standout second season, finishing runner-up in the 2025 Rising Star Award. That was won by Fremantle's Murphy Reid. Well, meantime, Patrick Cripps says he's pretty confident Charlie Curnow will remain at Carlton next year. The Coleman medalist has been linked with a move to Sydney, Gold Coast or Geelong. The Blues captain says he's hopeful Cripps will stay.
I'm pretty confident. I don't know. I'm a really good mate of Charles's, and he's like, you don't get too many players of his sort of calibre, play AFL footies.
And Sturt's colours will be unveiled atop the brewery at the Chimney a little bit later today at the Brickworks. And in some soccer to finish, Paris Saint-Germain's Dembele has won the Ballon d'Or award, while Spain's Aitana Bonmati has taken out the Women's Award. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Elizabeth North, a Carvey Tree, Wommer Road near Main North Road. Furl, twisted traffic like Glenburn Road near Marion Road. Starting to slow up for intersection works at Flinders Park, Holbrooks Road near Grange Road, and busy Marion Road at Anzac Highway just for the intersection works. Cameras, Cutboard Terrace, Henley Beach and Darley Road at Paradise. Krispy Kreme is bringing the joy with the Houses of Harry Potter Donut Collection. Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin and Gryffindor. Limited time only at OTR and Krispy Kreme stores. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, partly cloudy, 17 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Thursday, partly cloudy, 21 and 23 degrees on Friday. Right now, it's 9 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Life's a journey. As you grow older, every step should bring you more of what you want. And at ECH, they understand that. As one of SA's largest retirement living and home care providers, ECH offers more in every sense. More help at home, more support with your health, or the perfect new home to downsize to. ECH won't tell you where you should be, but they'll always support you to get more out of life. Visit ech.asn.au or call ECH today.
At Edwardstown Mazda, we've got something no one else in Australia has. We have Advantage Plus. That means 5 years factory warranty, an extra 5 years mechanical protection, 10 years roadside assistance, even a guaranteed future trade-in price no matter how you pay. All on top of reduced showroom exclusive pricing. No wonder they're the most reviewed and highest rated dealership in Adelaide.
It's gotta be
Advantage Plus. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 after 7, and good morning to you if you're joining us for the first time on this Tuesday morning. It's been a cool start to the day, just 7 degrees to start the program at 6 o'clock this morning. We were the coolest place in Australia outside of Canberra at that time, and it's not going to get a whole lot warmer today. No rain to speak of, but otherwise a pretty reasonable week ahead. There's a couple of big hours ahead because we're giving away clue number 7 to our AFL Grand Final ticket competition this morning. We haven't given it yet, which means there's still a chance to win tickets to the AFL Grand Final. Flights, accommodation, your tickets, it's all included. The 2025 Toyota AFL Grand Final, AFL authorised GF promotion, GFAFL 24/148. Make sure you have 82230000 plugged into your phone. Put it on speed dial. So when we read out the next clue, which will really help you on your journey, I'm telling you, we're getting to the point end of this competition now. It has to go off by Thursday. So if it doesn't go off today or tomorrow, we're just going to keep giving clues Thursday morning till we give someone the tickets to get away. Make sure you're ready and waiting, or at least get someone to collect the clue for you if you don't catch it a little bit later today. In a moment, we're going to talk about the algal bloom this summer. I want to ask our listeners, people that do, maybe you've got a regular family trip to the coast that you do each and every summer. Maybe you've got a favourite haunt, a favourite family catch-up, a place you take grandkids. Are you going this year? I want to hear from people. Are you stoically continuing to do what you've always done, or have you had second thoughts? Just want to take the pulse of our listeners. 82230000, because in a moment, very much in focus are going to be our South Australian coastal businesses, how they prepare for summer. But we just wanted to take the temperature of 5AA breakfast listeners. Are you planning to go to the coast or doing something different this summer? In the meantime, let's go to Gary in Prospect. Morning to you, Gary.
Good morning, David and Will. How are you?
Good, thanks, Gary. What did you make of the Brownlow, mate?
I didn't watch it. I doesn't really worry me much. The AFL muck up enough things through their history, so I don't want to watch one more. But I can attest to umpires not getting it right all the time. Back in the early 80s, because of injuries, I was playing for Broadview and I got picked in the A1 reserve side and then go back and play C grade afterwards. But because we were winning so much and I didn't have I had another game to play, the coach didn't play me. It was the only A1 reserve game I played all year, and I got third best on ground.
There was a famous night game years ago where Carlton were playing, and former Sturt player Robert Klomp was playing for Carlton. And didn't he not play? And he got a vote.
There was something like that. Yeah. The Robert Klomp story is legendary. Gary, let's send Gary to the movies. That was terrific. Gary, we're going to give you a Wallace Cinema pass. Go along and enjoy a movie. Good stuff, Gary. All right, let's talk algal bloom. What does summer look? I'm just trying to conceptualise summer for a business owner. How do you plan for how many people are coming to something like the Edithburgh Caravan Park? What about if you run Port River Cruises and KI Ocean Safaris? Is it going to be a year like last year? Is it going to be down? Do the coastal vouchers mean, you know what, business might even pick up? We're going to do a bit of a whip around, just take the temperature of our key tourist locations ahead of summer. Sarah Witt runs the Edithburgh Caravan Park. Sarah, good morning to you.
Good morning, boys. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Sarah. It's really good to be talking to you again. I think it was probably about 3 months ago when we had you on, Sarah. There's been a lot of attention. The government has been at least trying with publicity, and the Tourism Commission has got involved with the voucher program. Is it helping, though?
We're yet to see what that's going to do. Obviously, the ballots have only just gone out, so we're still waiting to see any of that come through yet, but we're hoping that will help pick numbers up.
What about with things like school holiday bookings? It's school holidays from next week, in fact. How's your October looking?
Not fantastic. The October long weekend, we're not even a third of capacity, which typically by now would be fully booked.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's not looking good. So...
And what's the ocean look like at the moment? Is it still bad? Is it still obviously affected?
No. So down here we're looking really good at the moment. People are going out fishing. They're catching fish again, so there is fish around. And there's very minimal algae bloom in Edithburgh at the moment. So we're hoping that that's going to help bring some people back. But we also want people not to just go out fishing, but obviously check the rest of the area out while they're here. So
well, there you go, listeners. Edithburgh Caravan Park is 2/3 empty in a week and a half's time. October long weekend, get on the phone. You know what to do. You can fish there. It feels, Sarah, like we sort of, and the media's part of this, like we spoke to the Coorong mullet people the other day who got this absolutely pristine aquatic environment where the fish taste superb. It seems like South Australians are actually doing the most damage to local businesses.
They really are. People are scared to eat the fish. People are scared to come and have a look at the area and go out boating again. We really need them to ramp that back up again. This is primarily a fishing destination, and I think that has kept a lot of people away. So we're hoping that they'll come back sooner rather than later, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully the vouchers will bring new people in and they'll see what Edithburgh's like and we'll love the area and we'll continue to come back and enjoy the area because it's beautiful. And like I said, the fish are back, but that's not just what we want to promote anymore after this algae bloom. Obviously, we want to promote everything else that's around the area too to keep people coming back. Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of other stuff to do. Good on you, Sarah. Thank you. Sarah Witt there from the 2/3 empty over the October long weekend. Amazing. Edithburgh Caravan Park. 8223 Who's made different plans? Who's stuck to their plans? Who's seizing along the opportunity that exists? But there's a bit of vacancy around. We'd love to hear. We want to get a bit of an insight into the thinking of South Australians when it comes to planning trips, both for the October long weekend and for this summer. Have you got a tradition that you always do each and every year? You go to Port Elliot or you go to wherever Edithburgh, wherever it might well be. Have you rethought it? Are you doing something different? And if so, what is it? Just fascinated to get an insight to our listeners' thinking on this. Let's go to Tony Coppins, who runs Port River Cruises and KI Ocean Safaris. Morning to you, Tony. Good morning, Dave and Will. How are you today? We're good, thanks, Tony. How are things going with your business, mate?
Yeah, well, look, let's start with Kangaroo Island. I mean, we were probably one of the first hit regions back in March. So, it was instantly devastating for Kangaroo Island because, we had mass cancellations and bookings ceased. So, we swim with the dolphins. We've got a world-class swim with dolphin program and seals there. And, of course, we stopped putting people in the water immediately and, waited for this to pass. But it took some time. Right now, the waters are pristine. Interesting to hear Sarah there. We're the same. We've got around Penishore, the waters are absolutely pristine. We've got SATC's crew down there this morning doing a swim with the dolphins and seals just to do a bit of that marketing, which is much needed. I must say, there's one thing that I think we've we've dropped the ball a little bit here across the state is to be marketing these pristine beaches and showing your listeners and that the quality of the water has cleared up around Penneshaw and parts of most of Kangaroo Island. So it's definitely taken a massive hit. The forward bookings are down. There's not many forward bookings. The media hype has taken its toll. It's you keep feeding people bad news and they'll believe it. And these visuals of consistently of dead animals, it's troubling, and we're troubled by it. But it's past where we are. Our dolphin population has been unaffected. We were in the boat this week. We had a count for national parks. All the calves that we would expect to be there were there, looking in amazing condition. All the adults fat and healthy. We got a resident pod of about 50 dolphins in Penneshaw, and they're all there. We've been swimming with them. The seals are there in big numbers. Once again, fat and healthy. So everything's good. All the conditions are good. The water's good. Now we just need the people back, and we're just appealing to your listeners to say, don't give up on us on Kangaroo Island.
Yeah.
Don't give up on us. Come down, make your bookings. Haggle with the crew. You might even get a better deal. But the coast is calling vouchers. It's a hard one for Kangaroo Island because you've got to get there. So you get a $100 voucher or a $500 accommodation voucher. You've still got to get there. So it's not going to be as beneficial for regional operators or accommodation. So, Kangaroo Island definitely needs a big focus on it and some more marketing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Good on you, Tony. Tony Coppins there, Port River Cruises and KI Ocean Safari.
Greg and Ashford's called in. Morning to you, Greg.
Hey, guys. I've spoken to you guys before. We've got a place in the city, but also a 3-bedroom townhouse on the golf course down at Normanville. We spend a fair bit of our time down there ordinarily, but also particularly at the summer. Our plans haven't changed. We're going to spend a lot more time down there with the grandkids this year. I think the one thing we're trying to do, even during winter months, is support the local businesses by, eating out down there, particularly the restaurant down there at the jetty, but also the surf club, which is run by volunteers who've been keeping that open during the winter months. And I think it's really important that, tourism numbers are down, that the locals support the local businesses because they really are, screaming out for help.
Yeah, they certainly are, Greg. Good on you for doing that, Greg from Ashford there. Wonderful part of the world.
Good news for, I wonder if Tony's still on the line and still listening. Anne says we're heading to Kangaroo Island as usual after Christmas. Good on you, Anne. Let us know, folks. Jane asks, will vac swim on the beaches go ahead this summer? I know my grandchildren are booked in. It's a good question. I would hazard a guess that they don't know yet.
Well, I'm not sure. Let's see. A quick Google should sort that out.
Well, but I just wondered whether are people waiting to are things of that scale being cancelled this far out when people don't know what the state of the bloom will be at that point in time?
Vac swim, enrol, give your child essential water safety skills this summer. Enrol now. They're taking enrolments.
Yeah. So they won't. No decision will have been taken about that during.
No.
At this point in time.
No.
Well, I guess which feeds into the uncertainty these poor businesses are suffering through. They just don't know. No one can rule anything in or out when it comes to the summer. Keep your calls coming in, folks. 8223 0000 or text us on the Police Home Care text line 0448 08 1395. We're going to check traffic and come back with more in just a moment.
Morning there at Elizabeth North, Carvey Tree, Womma Road near Main North Road. Furl, twisted traffic like Glenburn Road near Marion Road. Quite busy this morning, the Port Expressway heading into Perkins Drive at Port Adelaide and getting busy too, South Road at Glandore for those ongoing tram overpass works. Cameras Gorge Road, Athelston and Grand Junction Road at Hope Valley. Get the care you deserve at My Car Tyre and Auto. Visit mycar.com.au or call 13 13 28. My Car Tyre and Auto, people first. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings. Telco giant Optus is facing a massive backlash in the wake of its O disaster, resulted in the deaths of at least 3 people. Optus engineers doing maintenance apparently flipped a switch, effectively shutting down the 000 lines in South Australia, Western Australia, the NT and parts of New South Wales. Graham Goodings. Obviously providing a seamless service isn't part of their business plan. Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
At Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, the swear jar takes on a whole new meaning. It's about their pledge to do everything they can to make your bathroom or kitchen renovation experience the best it can possibly be. It's a commitment their entire business takes seriously, from their incredible design team through to their selections and tradespeople. Every person at Buy Urban is invested. They swear by it. Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
Dementia is one of the most diagnosed conditions in older Australians, including around 35,000 here in South Australia, and those numbers are expected to almost double in the next 25 years. ECH is dedicated to supporting people to live well with dementia at home, while also offering day programs that bring connection, activity and much-needed respite.
So this afternoon, ECH representatives are going to be joining Leith Forest live in studio for a special 5AA interactive lounge. They'll be sharing how ECH helps families navigate dementia with practical support, tailored services and programs designed to promote independence and well-being.
The phone lines will also be open so you can ask your questions confidentially off-air. Call the Interactive Lounge on 8223 0055. To find out more, visit ech.asn.au.
Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth the trip. From 1 to 9 yards across the Barossa, Clare and, of course, Gawler. You can get new and demo Ford Rangers in Clare, Mitsubishi Outlanders, Hyundai Hybrids and Mazda CX-5 in Nuriutpa, Jack Utes in Gawler, plus over 300 certified used vehicles in stock. Head to one of Steinborner's 9 locations or view the whole range at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
23 after 7, just continuing that conversation we started at 7 o'clock this morning. The Coast is calling voucher winners are going to be announced today. 123,000 people registered for the ballot, so there's still a little bit of appetite to go to the Coast and enjoy a holiday or an amenity or a nice day out. 20,000 South Australians will ultimately win the vouchers, valued at $100 experience vouchers, $100, $200, $500 accommodation vouchers. So you'll be notified if you win via SMS and email, and you'll get a unique code to spend on those tourism and accommodation providers. Joe Barrett is the operator of the Port Vincent kiosk and joins us now on 5AA Breakfast. Morning to you, Joe.
Good morning. How are you?
How would you summarise, Joe, your feeling about summer? Are you anxious about the summer ahead? Are you hopeful?
Absolutely anxious about it, but we are hopeful that I think we're seeing a little bit of confidence now and a little bit more people wanting to come over, and we're still really anxious, but we're hoping that this vouchers and everything else, that people realise there's lots more to do over here, and our beaches are looking great. They're really good. So I'm not saying that the seas are great, but we're really hopeful that it'll still interest people.
Hey Joe, it might be hard to get a beat on this, but as a local, does it feel like the population of a town like Port Vincent has changed beyond the sort of weekenders and the school holiday people who always top up the numbers? But do you know if people have actually left the town to come back to the city?
I don't know of actual people that live there that have left the town, but I do know that the people that do have houses in the town that come over all the time and have their boats here and, come over and come to fish, that say, well, what's the point of us coming over? Coming over for the weekend, we can't go fishing. So that definitely is has been noted. And so we're not seeing those. So we still class them as locals because they own a house here. But And so we are noticing that.
That'd be like your most important customers in a way, those people, wouldn't they?
Oh, absolutely. And also to all the Airbnbs, the caravan parks. We're right on the beach. We need these people to come over and still spend some money over here and come and have a coffee and come and have a donut. And,
how many bags of cockles are you selling a day?
How many bags of coffee?
No, cockles. Cockles, bait.
Cockles, we don't sell bait.
You don't sell bait?
I can't really. No, we don't do any of that. So
yeah, right.
We're still seeing our regulars still coming in. We've actually noticed that when locals coming in and supporting us, which is great. And we're just hoping October long weekend, that will be our biggest time to be able to tell us whether we're going to get through summer or not.
Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully people come back. Joe Barrett there, the Port Vincent kiosk operator. Thanks for joining us, Joe.
27 after 7. I was just thinking, we haven't given a lot of love to our pre-7:30 listeners when it comes to the AFL Grand Final ticket competition, have we?
No. Is there still time?
I reckon there's time.
Sneaky.
Should we give away a clue? Should we give everyone a chance to win tickets to the AFL Grand Final, flights, accommodation, it all included? Okay, today's clue. Get calling now, 8223 0000. Today's clue, Emily Brand has just sent it through to me, is simply this. 35. 35. Today's clue, 35. I don't know why I did it with that voice. 8223 0000 is the number. The clue is 35. David Pedberg, your eye just twitched in a way that it was like you loaded
I've been meaning to get that looked at.
Made me think you think you might know who it is.
Yeah, I got a weird feeling.
You just got a hunch. I saw it form.
Oh, yeah.
8223 0000. Let's see. We've got the callers coming through, full board. Huge demand for the tickets.
Once in yellow, though.
Once in a lifetime opportunity. Hang on.
Sorry.
Are you revealing clues?
No. Well, yes, by accident.
This will be a great trip. Big grand final, Geelong, Brisbane, and you don't have to worry about a thing. It's all taken care of. It could go off today. If it doesn't go off today, it's got to be tomorrow or Thursday.
You get to see Snoop Dogg as well, which is
how good's
listing
that?
The many great achievements of the AFL this year. That's another one.
I think the phone lines are ringing off the hook with Snoop fans, would be my guess.
Drop it while it's hot.
Andrew is the first through. Andrew, good morning to you.
Good morning to you both. How are you?
Good, thanks, Andrew.
We apologise, Andrew, to our pre-7:30 listeners. There's been a lot of opportunity for after 7:30. That being the case, have you heard all the clues?
I have heard all the clues.
Oh,
yes.
Good. Oh, that's good. All right, well, step us through your thinking, Andrew, and then provide us with your guess.
Oh, look, just the height, the yellow being Ronald, the year, I think, 1990, I think that was one of the first clues. The year that he was appointed the initial coach, which I guess gives up my answer there, being Graham Corns.
Graham Studley Corns, our very own, 5AA's own Graham Corns.
Yeah.
Certainly fits the height. Yeah, I can see 1990. Yellow, that works. It's not Graham Corns. Sorry, Andrew.
Thank you all.
No, good try. Good guess. Like your thinking. I could see where you were going with that, but it is not Graham Corns.
We've had multiple Bays legends.
Yeah, a lot of people
have looked. McDermott, McGuinness. Just need a few Kim Hodgman, Peter Carey types, and we'll
super.
Keep it going.
Well, that means we go to day 8. Another clue tomorrow morning. Stay listening. Can happen any time in the program. We give away a clue and a chance to win those tickets. The AFL Grand Final tickets will be going off some point between now and Thursday at 9 o'clock. So stay listening. Another clue tomorrow. Today's clue, 35. Punch that into your brain and see what you come up with. Maybe it could be you getting along tomorrow.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy, 17 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
Anthony Albanese still can't get a face-to-face with Donald Trump. The White House has revealed a list of leaders to meet with the US president on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, and Australia is not on it. It includes the UAE, Ukraine and the European Union. Meantime, US President Donald Trump is linking the use of paracetamol by pregnant women to increased rates of autism. America's Food and Drug Administration will be notifying doctors of the risk to pass on to their patients. Mr. Trump says Tylenol, as it's known in the US, shouldn't be taken unless medically necessary.
All pregnant women should talk to their doctors for more information about limiting the use of this medication while pregnant. So ideally you don't take it at all, but if you can't tough it out, if there's a problem, you're going to end up doing it.
Experts maintain the link is still unproven. A woman is in a critical condition after being struck by a train. It happened at the Dudley Park railway station just after 5 last night. Witnesses say the 61-year-old slipped and fell on the tracks. The Gawler line has reopened, so it will be business as usual for the morning commute. A milestone for local electronics manufacturer RedArc. It's unveiled the first stage of an advanced manufacturing and technology hub at Lonsdale. RedArc's managing director, Anthony Kittle, says it'll open up new opportunities in the space and defence industries.
Look, we are certainly the defence state. We have, I think, 7 of the very large international primes based here in Adelaide, and we've got a great number of SMEs supporting them, and so there's lots of opportunities, and the South Australian government is certainly focusing on it.
One of the world's biggest airports is shutting down for a superstorm. Hong Kong is in the firing line of a supersized typhoon, packing wind gusts of 265 kilometres an hour. The system smashing parts of the Philippines, triggering flash flooding, destruction and the evacuation of tens of thousands of people. Qantas and Cathay Pacific are cancelling flights. Suspended late-night TV show host Jimmy Kimmel is headed back to the box. More from Jonathan Kersley.
Jimmy Kimmel Live was dropped by Disney, the owner of America's ABC network, after the comedian made comments about the suspect charged over the assassination of Charlie Kirk. America's television watchdog had threatened to pull ABC's licence if something was not done about Jimmy Kimmel, and President Donald Trump said the show had been cancelled. He then called on other late-night hosts to also be axed. But now Disney says the program will return tomorrow night following discussions with Jimmy Kimmel.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Gold Coast has its second Brownlow medal winner after Matt Rao took out last night's award, finishing 7 votes clear of Collingwood's Nick Dacos. Adelaide captain Jordan Dawson was 4th, while Port Zach Butters was the best for his club, finishing in a tie for 11th. Well, the AFL's footy boss has given his biggest indication yet that last possession out of bounds will be introduced next season. The rules in place in the women's competition and here in South Australia. Greg Swan says it makes the umpire's job easier.
Last touch out of bounds rather than, insufficient intent, it's almost the same anyway. So, and then the umpires don't have to make a decision with someone in the vicinity, were they, won't they? Let's just pay the free kick and get on with it.
Essendon captain Zach Merritt says he will be at the Bombers' best and fairest amid uncertainty about his future. Merritt attended last night's Brownlow medal, the first time he's spoken publicly since news of his meeting with Hawks coach Sam Mitchell. Essendon coach Brad Scott, along with teammates Mason Redman and Nick Martin, have expressed their disappointment about the skipper considering leaving. But Merritt says he still feels well supported by the Bombers and his coach.
I love the club, mate. I absolutely adore the club. It's given me purpose in life. It's given me an opportunity to play for 12 years so far. To play 50 games with my brother. So I'm never, ever going to lose the love for the club. It's been a pretty difficult few weeks, to be honest, for myself and my family, with a lot of the commentary in the media and the way it's played out.
Let's go to the World Game. French star Ousmane Dembélé has been crowned the best player in world football, winning the Ballon d'Or. It caps off a brilliant season, having helped PSG win the Champions League. Meantime, Barcelona midfielder Aitana Bonmati has won the Women's Award for a 3rd year running. And that's the 5AA sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Elizabeth North, Carvey Tree, Wommer Road near Main North Road at Firle. Got a twisted traffic light, Glenburn Road near Marion Road, but that's not causing too many delays. A little bit slow at the moment, Morford Road near Anzac Highway for the tram overpass works and getting busy, the Port of Expressway at Port Adelaide. Camera at Jenny Road Lane Spoke this morning. That one blue no you saw, that's someone fighting for change. You can too. Sign up at polishedman.com to take a stand and prevent violence against women and children. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, 17 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 18, much the same on Thursday 21 and then 23 on Friday. Right now it's 9 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Imagine it's a beautiful sunny day. You're standing on a garden of lush green turf. You've got your shoes off so you can feel that grass between your toes. Give them a good scrunch. Really feel your feet sink into the cool, soft grass. That feeling is yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it, and importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
Looking for exceptional early learning and care for your autistic child? Discover Anglicare SA's Daphne Street Autism Specific Centre. Our state-of-the-art facility in Prospect is run by a skilled team who offer expert education, specialised therapies and a play-based curriculum designed for individual growth. With a focus on early intervention and inclusive care, we ensure every child's unique needs are met. Give your child the best start with Anglicare SA. Visit our website to learn more. Anglicare SA, where every child's journey matters.
The SUV you haven't met yet. A Motor JQ has arrived, and Morford Vale is the only place you'll find them. Premium looks, smart tech, designed for beach getaways, back road breaks, and school runs with flair. Plus an 8-year warranty and Australia's first future price promise. You won't just love the ride, you'll love the peace of mind. Only available at a Motor JQ Morford Vale. Built for this wild life. Wildly cool. Main South Road. T's and C's apply.
Tired of rising power bills? What if you could eliminate power bills forever? With NRG Solar, the new cheaper home batteries program gives eligible homes and businesses up to 30% off the cost of a new home battery, saving you thousands. NRG Solar has the know-how to help you claim the rebate and design a system that delivers real long-term value. Own your energy, own your future. Call 1300 858 160, that's 1300 858 160, or visit nrgsolar.com.au now.
When it comes to retirement, make your choice Living Choice Australia. Join us on Wednesday the 24th of September at Living Choice Flagstaff Hill for information, tours and a keynote speech from former media professional Marcus Pearce. Marcus will share powerful insights on longevity, purpose and thriving in retirement while giving a vibrant new outlook on retirement living. Whether you're planning or exploring retirement living, join us on Wednesday the 24th of September at 10:30am. RSVP at livingchoice.com.au.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes to 8, a little bit earlier in the program. In fact, about an hour ago, we played some audio out of the United States. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, addressing the United Nations General Assembly with regard to Australia recognising the state of Palestine. It was an event about a week ago. There was some speculation that might be the backdrop for the first Trump-Albanese face-to-face meeting. Well, it was confirmed this morning, our time, that there will be no such meeting because, well, frankly, the president's busy meeting other leaders. Have a listen to White House Press Sec Caroline Levitt.
The president will depart to New York City ahead of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The president will also be hosting bilateral meetings with the UN Secretary General and the leaders of Ukraine, Argentina, and the European Union. The president will also later in the day hold a multilateral meeting with Qatar, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Turkey, Pakistan, Egypt, the UAE, and Jordan. After these important meetings, the president will attend a reception tomorrow night with more than 100 world leaders before returning to Washington, D.C.
He's meeting half the world and most of the Middle East. Australia's still not on the list, or Anthony Albanese not on the list. But notable what's happening in the US for what both is and isn't happening with that historic recognition of the state of Palestine. Phil Curry, the political editor of the Australian Financial Review, is in New York covering it all following the Prime Minister around. Phil, good evening to you and thanks for joining us.
No worries, fellas.
It's starting to look like some unrequited love scenario, this, isn't it, Phil? But what are they saying? What's the Albo camp saying about it privately? There must be a lot of just rolling of the eyes, raising of the eyebrows.
Well, they're sort of saying it's a matter of logistics. But, you know, in terms of, like, the president just can't find time or something. But, you know, the fact that he's meeting, it's evening here on Monday night, early Monday evening here in New York, and the Trump flies in tonight. And one of his meetings tomorrow is with the Argentinian. So if you can sort of meet the Argentinian, we're sort of getting down to second-tier countries now and still can't find time for the Australians. There's clearly something going on. I think it's a combination of factors. Trump is, like, very busy. He doesn't consider Australia something urgent he needs to talk to, and at the same time, I think they're quite happy to let us squirm a bit for some of the things the government said about him during the election and you know, some of the stuff Kevin Rowe said in the past. So there's a bit of tension there. Everyone's playing it down. Before we flew out late last week, we were briefed by the government not to expect a meeting this week. You know, the government had asked for one. They'd asked for a trip to the White House on the weekend so we could go to Washington before we flew to New York, but that just never eventuated. And then the Charlie Kirk funeral popped up, so that put any end to any hope of that. Then the fallback was maybe a meeting, a quick and dirty in New York, where all the leaders are here. But that won't happen either. In 24 hours' time, there's going to be a function for world leaders that Trump is hosting, and Albanese reckons you'll get what we call a grip and grin, you know, a quick handshake and a 3-minute conversation.
Grip and grin.
But they're not going to count that as a formal meeting. So it looks like this whole sort of circus moves on in a month's time to the APEC summit in Korea and the East Asia summit in Malaysia. They're in the same week, the last week of October. And we'll go through the charade again to see if we can meet him there.
Is our ambassador, Kevin Rudd, hanging around? Phil, have you caught up with him? I know you know him extremely well.
He's always hanging around. He's here. I hear he's here. He's somewhere getting in the way. But, you know, look, it's a big occasion, the UN General Assembly. Albanese's never, for all the travel he does, he's actually never attended this. It's an annual event in New York in grand final week. Go the Double Blues. And like the last Prime Minister not to ever address it was Paul Keating. So every Prime Minister since has at least come here once and done the big UN address. So this is the first time Albanese has done it. There's a lot of people here. Like there's 150 plus world leaders here, foreign ministers, and all the log rollers and rent seekers. That sort of attracts. So a lot of business gets transacted here. There's a lot of meetings. I think as we speak now, the Prime Minister's sitting down with Emmanuel Macron from France for a bilateral. So, you know, it's a big show. And so, you know, the ambassadors sort of tag along and Rudd's here as well. There's a business thing tomorrow. And on Wednesday morning, Albanese's doing a bit like the festival. You know, you have these fringe events and he's having an event on the social media ban. He's trying to drum up a bit of international support for that social media ban his government's bringing in, and the Europeans are turning up to that, and a few others. So it's a bit of a carnival for 5 days, and then we get out of here.
Yeah, mate. Pity you double booked. You couldn't come home Sunday for the game. Unbelievable.
The Carlton game, or
the Blues.
the third game. Yeah, no, I read all about it. I sent Sue Dewing a message. Well done.
That was a cracker.
the CEO said it, but. Anyway, we're going to miss the AFL Grand Final as well because we've got to go to London.
I guess Sturt's March to Glory probably hasn't been a huge talker at the UN General Assembly, sadly, but...
everything else has. Look, the big deal, as I'm speaking to you now, I mean, it's back to sort of being serious for a minute. They just did the formal recognition of Palestine. It was a pretty big deal. 140 leaders are in the audience. Not the Israelis, obviously, nor Trump, and... that's going to be a tension point over the next few days. Trump is going to be addressing the UN proper. That starts proper tomorrow morning, so about sort of 12 hours from now. And all reports he's going to lean right in and but criticise all the countries, including us, who supported Palestine. He's very much on Israel's side. They're going to, as we've been told, take a pop at international institutions corrupting the global world order. So I can tell you, you can read about it at home, but you've got to be here to realise how mad this place has got. I think just in the last hour, he's launched a sort of crusade against Panadol on some, cooped up evidence that it causes autism. I mean, it's every day here. The place is quite nuts, and people are sort of quite intimidated and scared because it's got beyond. These people follow through with threats and all sorts of things. So it's an odd place, I must say, the US at the moment.
Yeah, when you know it so well from having lived there as the News Corp correspondent for all those years. Great stuff, Phil. Phil Curry, the national political editor for the Australian Financial Review in New York.
It's coming up 14 minutes to 8. Lots of texts coming through on the Police Home Care text line about the Prime Minister's inability to secure a meeting with Donald Trump. Terry's upset. He says, "My God, David, let it go. Your obsession with Rudd's becoming unbearable." All I said was, is he there? I didn't pass any judgment on the great man. Were you inferring that if he was there, it would go much better?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Of course I was.
That's what I thought.
Scott, on the other hand, says, "Boys, Trump is in an ideological war with the left. The killing of Charlie Kirk's really affected him. Why in the world would he go out of his way to have a meeting with our card-carrying communist PM, especially after giving Hamas the win?" Thank you for that, Scott. Rita in Campbelltown says, "It's obvious Trump is not impressed with our PM, otherwise why would he be playing hard to get?" Another one here from DB simply says, "Such a slap in the face for Albo and Australia." And Sue in Christie's Beach, on more important matters, says, "I've known the answer to the grand final competition for a week, and today's clue confirmed it."
Well, Sue, you need to try and get through.
Yeah, come on, Sue, hop to it. Well, not now.
We got a text now. I can't recall who sent it through a little bit earlier, but we were talking about looking ahead to summer and the holidays people may or may not be going on, and the events that may or may not be get the patronage they have in the past on account of the algal bloom. And someone asked about VacSwim, saying their grandchildren were involved in it. Is it still going ahead? We've made some inquiries. We spoke with Surf Lifesaving SA, who run VacSwim, and they said it is still going ahead and enrolments are open. So to anyone who had outstanding questions about that, they are, to this point, on the 23rd of September, that is the answer. It is all still running and all still going ahead as per normal. We're going to take a break. We're going to check traffic, and on the other side of it, convene a jury. And the question we've got for the jury is very simple this morning. You can get calling now on 8223 0000. Someone will be rewarded with a $100 Samtas seafood voucher. Is the Brownlow dead? Should the Brownlow be dead? Did it die last night in round 20 when Melbourne and St Kilda, the votes were read?
I feel sorry for the Gold Coast guy. He's had a great year.
That was great. He's a terrific footballer.
And he seems like the world's nicest bloke.
He just might be the second best player at Gold Coast, and he won the Brownlow by his second highest margin ever. The second highest number of votes.
Imagine you win it, and the whole national debate is like, how bad's the Brownlow?
Is the Brownlow finished for the jury this morning? Give us a call right now. You could win $100 worth of Samtas seafood. First traffic.
Morning there. The roads aren't looking too bad this morning. Phil, got a twisted traffic like Glenburn Road near Marion Road, but not seeing too many delays there. Outside of that, just busy in the normal spots today, which is nice. Port Road at Hindmarsh heading to the city. The Putnam Expressway is pretty busy this morning, and we're a bit slow Morford Road for the tram overpass works near Anzac Highway. You'll find cameras today, Gorge Road, Athelston, and Jetty Road, Larks Bay. Pizza Hut are giving away 55,000 freebies. The best deals are on the download only in the Pizza Hut app. Sign up and check out what's dropped now. Ends October 31, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. On time, on budget, on the job.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand.
Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
Hi, Daniel Tarley here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Sometimes renovating an older home built before the 90s is just not worth the hassle, time or the cost. Instead, we buy your home as it is and give you as much time as you need to find your new dream home. We don't charge fees, there's no advertising costs or commissions. We just make the process of selling your home easy. Look out for a letter from us in your mailbox or visit home.com.au. That's haume.com.au.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Signs you may have Big D envy. You've been invited to a mate's house to watch the footy, but you decline. Another mate's having a birthday bash. You make up an excuse not to attend. And finally, you feel like your partner is comparing what you have to what your mates have. Avoid Big D envy. Get in touch with Big Difference Home Improvements. From outdoor blinds to stunning verandas, pergolas, timber decking and carports, Big Difference Home Improvements will change your life. BigDifference.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
Looking forward to this jury this morning. We've got a full bench to deal with, and we've got $100 worth of Samtas seafood to give away to randomly someone who renders a verdict on the question about whether the Brownlow is dead. Did it die last night in round 20 when the votes were read out for the game between Melbourne and St Kilda? Widely regarded as one of the greatest individual performances of all time, Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller dragging his side off the canvas, 34 touches, 4 goals, 2 votes. Have a listen.
St Kilda, Melbourne, C. Petrarca, 1 vote. St Kilda, N. Wanganeen-Miller, 2 votes. Melbourne, J. Viney, 3 votes. North Melbourne, Geelong.
I've never heard that sound at the Brownlow before.
To put it in a sort of different cultural context, this is the equivalent of going to the Oscars the year that Saving Private Ryan came out. And they opened the envelope and the award for Best Picture, Sharknado.
Jack Viney, 23 touches and a goal in that game. That was just one of a litany of concerns fans have raised. We've certainly raised this morning, including Matt Rao. Before round 10, I think on 3 occasions, had been the recipient of 3 votes during games at which neither coach had considered him in the best 5 players in the coaches' votes. Let's just say, there's anomalies every year, but they're not getting better. Juror number 1, is the Brownlow dead?
Yeah, look, sometimes more than sometimes, the umpires get it wrong. Sometimes they get it really wrong, and sometimes they shit the bed. And I think it's the third option with this, unfortunately. But well fought, Matty Rao absolutely deserved it. Would have liked Dorse to get a few more votes, but that's the way it is. But no, it's not dead. It's still a great thing. My partner watched it for the first time when it got to the end, and she said, "Is that it?" And I was, kind of jumping up and down, hoping Dawson got a few more, but not dead.
Not dead. Thank you, juror number 1. Juror number 2, dead or not dead?
Of course, it's not dead. The award is the Brownlow to award the best player, not the flashiest player. and Matt Rowell won that easily last night as one of the best players. And you judges there, bloody hell, Dave, you're a judge up there and you're swaying the jury with all your comments in the last 2 hours. It's ridiculous. You can't do this.
You should have heard Will at 6:15, Quentin. Oh, sorry.
You can't identify.
Sorry, I've
Actually,
just committed contempt of court. I've identified a juror.
Since you've been identified, Quentin, as our resident Gold Coast fan listener, who had a better year, Noah Anderson or Matt Rowell?
Matt Rowell.
No, he didn't.
Matt Rowell.
That's
Matt
rubbish.
Rowell.
That is rubbish.
Oh, hey, Judge. No, Matt Rowell had the best year. He had the best year.
Yeah, well...
you didn't even know who he was.
Well, I knew who he was.
Will did. We'll actually commentate games.
You didn't even know who he was.
Noah Anderson won the Coaches Award as voted by the AFL coaches. The best player in the competition, by the way. Juror number 3, good morning.
Just for Quentin's sake, though, it is great for Gold Coast as part of their development as a club to have won a Brownlow. So happy to recognise that point.
Gary Ablett from Brownlow medalist has
that's
played
right.
for them.
He played from 2, didn't he?
Juror number 3, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I've got a solution to this problem. It's a massive problem. Schools have been having the problem for years. Just give everybody a medal for participation,
There you
and
go.
nobody's going to get upset.
So is it dead or not dead?
No, it's not dead.
Not dead. Okay. A lot of Brownlow love coming through. Juror number 4, good morning.
Dead, and I was trying to think of an analogy to deal with it. I know. Oh, look, imagine the Brownlow finished minor premier and lost both of its home finals.
This segment sucks. Thank you, juror number 4.
Juror number 4 had a whiff of familiarity about him too, didn't he?
What's going on here? Juror number 5
from Alberton.
Is the Brownlow dead or not?
Look, I don't think it's dead, but you think 4 umpires. There's got to be one umpire of those 4 with half a brain that would say, "Hang on, boys, you got it wrong. This is what the vote should be for today's game. You got it wrong." At least one umpire should have half a brain to correct the other guys. Don't you reckon?
Yeah, well, I would have thought. It's been a few examples to the contrary this morning. Thank you, juror number 5. Juror number 6, good morning.
It's not dead. They can fix it easily. First of all, with the presentation, it's too long. They can take out extras. They say the word vote will vote 621 times. We know their votes, so you don't have to say vote.
That's actually a good point. You certainly should be programming television, juror number 6. That's a really good point. They don't need to say it every time.
Yeah.
I like that. Juror number 7, good morning.
Morning, men. Can I just ask what the alternative is if its current format is dead?
You either elevate the Coaches Award or the Players Association Award, or combine them? Or
are we going to say the Brownlow is now decided by champion data? Because if we do that, we don't need the event anymore, because that'll be decided well before the night.
Yeah, but what about? I mean, if you look around the rest of the world, it's either players or coaches or some combination of player, coaches, and media. It's not umpires. I just think umpires is a weird thing.
Oh, you got to work through the format rather than just burn it at the stake. Listen, people still talk about Greg Williams not winning it in 92 or 3, whatever year it was. I mean, this isn't new.
No, you're right there.
We can't just keep diluting the surprise element of the game of football.
Thank you, juror number 7. I think we got huge support for the Brownlow in the end.
We did.
Oh, it blows me away.
Not on the text line.
I turned it off.
The one-man boycott.
Yeah, well, turns out it looks like there's not going to be a clarion call for my...
Poor people seem to think the reason we're upset is that Dawson didn't win. That's not the point.
I don't think we've mentioned Dawson.
No, I didn't care at all about that.
And to be honest, when we talk about anomalies in terms of performance versus votes achieved, I don't think we've mentioned Dawson one. I don't think there's one that... I'm not particularly aggrieved about any specific Dawson one. I'm aggrieved about a lot of Rowell v. Anderson and a lot of that, the Wanganeen Miller. And there's a host of other games for a lot of Victorian teams involving players that, we're not going to bother mentioning, but like the Crows element hasn't been spoken about.
One thing that quite a few people have picked up on too on the police home care text line is, why did the AFL chairman, Richard Goyder, begin his speech ostensibly congratulating Matt Rowell by apologising to Nick Dacos?
It's AFL tradition, Poor old Collingwood.
Foundation
had a rough week.
Yeah,
Jamie Elliott free kick, and now this.
Yeah, exactly.
Collingwood, they
turned the game on its head, that did.
Poor old Collingwood.
Only lost by 5 goals.
Poor old Collingwood. Can you imagine what their draw's going to be next year?
West Coast.
They're going to extend the season by 5 games so they can play 28 consecutive matches at the MCG.
Kia's most awarded SUV just got better. The Kia Sorrento. Visit kia.com.au to find out more about the 7-seat Kia Sorrento.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy, 17 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Manage complex neurological conditions at Neurophysio in Eastwood with treatment and group classes. neurophysio.com.au.
Australian health experts maintain paracetamol is still the safest drug to treat pain and fever during pregnancy. The Trump administration has found an apparent link between the drug and autism. Dr Nick Coatsworth says paracetamol is still classed as Category A in Australia, meaning it's deemed safe to take in pregnancy.
I want to reassure pregnant women, but I also want to tell you that this isn't crank science. This has been looked at before, and there are some studies which show a small risk association and many studies that do not. So we need to keep this as an open question.
The White House has revealed a list of leaders to formally meet with US President Donald Trump at the UN General Assembly, and Australia is not on it. More from Jonathan Kersley.
No meeting had been locked in between US President Donald Trump and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt rattled off a list of meetings Donald Trump will have while in New York. It included the UAE, Jordan, Ukraine and the European Union, but not Australia. It leaves a window of opportunity for the Prime Minister to see the US President in person at an evening reception tomorrow. Just yesterday, Australia, along with the United Kingdom and Canada, now France, announced a recognition of a Palestinian statehood. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt suggested the President was not best pleased.
Frankly, he believes it's a reward to Hamas.
The RAA is calling for SA's road safety ratings to be released. It comes after the star ratings for hundreds of thousands of kilometres of interstate roads were released publicly for the first time today. Each road is rated on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, with 5 stars being the safest, taking into account risk factors such as lane and shoulder width, speed limit and presence of barriers. One of the world's largest airports is preparing for a snap shutdown expected to disrupt the travel plans of thousands of Australians. More from Jack Hahn.
Hong Kong Airport is shutting down as a supersized Typhoon is on a collision course with the city. So far, 3 flights from Sydney, 3 from Melbourne, 2 from Brisbane and 1 from Perth have been cancelled. Many more services are set to be dropped. Qantas suspending flights there for at least 36 hours, while Cathay Pacific has already cancelled more than 500 flights. Australians are expected to be hit hard with the disruptions as Hong Kong is a popular stopover for those travelling to Asia, Europe and America. The Typhoon is massive with a recorded wind gust of 324 kilometres an hour.
The earth has been moving in the state's far north. A magnitude 3.1 quake recorded near William Creek earlier this morning. William Creek is the nearest town to Lake Eyre. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Gold Coast midfielder Matt Rowell admits he was shocked to win the Brownlow medal last night. Rowell edged out the favourites Collingwood's Nick Dacos and Geelong's Bailey Smith.
I was just happy to maybe be one of the contenders. I didn't think I'd win, so pretty speechless to be honest.
Audio there thanks to 7. Crows captain Jordan Dawson was 4th with 27 votes. Well, Suns teammate of Rowell, Noah Anderson, claimed Goal of the Year honours, while Western Bulldogs Sam Darcy took out Mark of the Year. Fremantle's Murphy Reid won the Rising Star Award ahead of Adelaide's Dan Curtin, while Brisbane's Harris Andrews accepted the Community Leadership Award. Meantime, Sturt will unveil its colours at the Chimney at the Brickworks as the club continues its celebrations today following its grand final win against Glenelg. There's doubt about the future of Adelaide 36's import Montrez Harrell and his future at the club. Complications have emerged following a doping violation he was found guilty of in China in the off-season. with reports the Sixers have been unable to navigate through that situation. To soccer now, after guiding PSG to the Champions League title, French forward Ousmane Dembélé has been recognised as the world's best soccer player with a Ballon d'Or award. Aitana Bonmati has won the women's honour from Barcelona for a third year running. Ben Hans and Tim Hodge have won world titles at the World Para Swimming Championships. Hans won the 100-metre backstroke S14, while Hodge won the 200-metre individual medley SM9. Briefly elsewhere, Christian Horner has officially left Red Bull's Formula One team, reportedly receiving a $106 million payout. The Kansas City Chiefs have finally won their first game of the season after taking care of the New York Giants 22 points to 9. And there's one more game to wrap up week 3 of action in the NFL. That's a little later this morning with the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Detroit Lions. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. The roads are looking pretty good for the run-in today. Got a twisted traffic light at FIVEAA to look out for, but not seeing too many dramas through there at the moment. That's Glenburn Road near Marion Road. It is slow going right now. Morford Road near Anzac Highway for the tram overpass works. It is getting busy. Fitzroy Terrace, North Adelaide, and got a camera setting up right now as we speak. Bartley Terrace at Westlake Shore. Choose Cartex fuels with Techron to keep your engine running smoothly. Proven to clean and protect your engine while you drive. Give your car the Cartex with Techron cleaning treatment today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA forecast for today, 17, partly cloudy tomorrow, 18, 21 on Thursday and 23 on Friday. Right now it's 10 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Ever find insurance confusing, whether it's for your car, home, investment, property or boat? Sometimes you just want to speak to a real person, and that's where RAA can help.
That's right. RAA are fantastic. They've got a dedicated call centre in Mile End and shops across SA. RAA are all about genuine conversations with their members. Whether you get a quote online, over the phone or in person, you'll always receive friendly, reliable service.
So chat to a local about your insurance today. Call RAA on 8202 4567 or visit in-store. Issued by RAA on behalf of Allianz South Australia Insurance Limited. T's and C's, limits and exclusions apply. Consider the PDS available with the TMD at raa.com.au.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
When we did not know the answer.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 after 8, very shortly, we're going to turn our attention to a somewhat confusing story regarding the Australian Road Assessment Program. This is the federal government rating roads in various states. It was determined that this year that those ratings would become publicly available, and they have been made available in a couple of places. They haven't in Queensland and Tassie, who they haven't finished them yet, but once the data is released, they will be made public. The data has been compiled for South Australia, but it hasn't been released. According to the Advertisers reporting, the South Australian government told Oz Roads they were withdrawing consent for the release of the data.
Why?
Well, that's the question we're going to try and seek to answer before 9 o'clock this morning. Also, after 8:30 today, the man who might know a bit about that, actually, the Treasurer, Tom Koutsantonis, who's been the Transport Minister up until very, very recently. His first chat with us as the Treasurer after 8:30.
His first actual interview.
Yeah.
His first interview as Treasurer, apart from the press conference that he did last week.
Looking forward to that. That's not too far away. Our number is 8223 You can text us on the Police Home Care text line as well, 0448 08 1395. But right now it's time for Breaking 8.
Well, we're hearing some pretty dark mutterings about the future of Bedford Industries. We say this with a degree of caution because there's 1,500 excellent people who work there. The state government has already chipped in $15 million to stop Bedford from going into administration. This was on account of some pretty rash financial decisions that the company made, expanding at breakneck speed when it wasn't really in a position to do so. But we understand that in the last couple of days, the chair of Bedford, Janet Miller, has quit, which is not great in terms of continuity. We know that the CEO has already gone. So now the chair has gone as well. You know, the source that I've got on this is solid. They've said to me, hopefully they can somehow trade their way out of trouble, but there is no guarantee that they are going to get through this, and even if they do, it is going to be messy. So watch this space. The Premier gave a bit of an update in Parliament last week. I just double-checked some of the detail in that from an ABC online story about it. But since last week, when Peter Malinowska said, look, it's not in good financial shape, it sounds like things have now, well, it doesn't sound like, things have now deteriorated to the point that the chair herself has walked away. So watch this space. Well, what about this for a story? So our next guest, out of the goodness of his heart, he arranged for his grandson, George, to move into a granny flat at the back of his property in Kilburn to help his young grandson out, who's a young journo actually, sort of at the start of his career, paying a nice sort of mates rates rent, as families often do. And backdrop to all this is in the middle of a housing crisis as well, with limited availability of homes and properties. So this grandfather, who's a pensioner, 76-year-old Branislav Jankovic, known as Barney Jankovic, he put up a letterbox. It cost him $15 at Bunnings. He put up a letterbox so that his grandson could get his mail. And the beady-eyed buggers at the Port Adelaide Enfield Council went, hang on a minute, why have they got two letterboxes? As a result, they've increased their council rates by about $500, in addition to the $1,300 that the house attracts in rates. The council has now imposed an extra $1,124.80 for the granny flat. We've got Barney Jankovic on the line now. Barney, this looks like daylight robbery. Did they give you any warning that they were going to do this, mate?
No, absolutely not. He just sent me the bill for like two property. He charged me minimum right $1,000 something. On $700, how much is the house? He's charged me $1,200. And on the other one, who is $200,000 poor valuation, he's charged me $1,000 something for the $200, which means the same for $710 and for $290. And I call the council. I say, why you subdivide my property? You say, yeah, we saw from the satellite they got the letterbox. I say, yeah, what for? If I got the letterbox, what's wrong with that? He said, for us, that's like you subdivide the property and send me two bills. We got that property for 4 years. We just got the one council right. Now we got two. But in the last 3 years, every year he put $100,000 more. $100,000 for valuation.
Yeah.
And what's happened, if you put the valuation up, he charge you more for the council right. Subdivide the book. I didn't do that one. I didn't put it any form to subdivide.
No.
You say you got the fence. I say, what about I got the garden there? What's wrong if I put the fence or separate garden on the barbecue area? You say, for us, this is two property, and send me two bill. What is I pay $500 more. Plus, when it's lifting up every year, my asset of the property is going up, and Social Security is cut me the pension because my grandson is living on granny flat.
Yeah.
That granny flat is existing there for 40 years. No, we know something what we're building now. That's for 40 years, and we got one council right. Now we got two.
So have you had to pay the money? Have you paid it, Barney, or are you trying to fight the council?
Yeah, I did. I pay on a quarter payment. Every 3 months we pay for that.
It's unbelievable. And
yeah,
if you didn't put the letterbox up, they wouldn't have even known.
That letterbox, $15. I pay from the bank, $15. Now it's cost me more than, I don't know how much. It's actually, the pension is cut me $300 on fortnight.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
$300 on fortnight. Me and my wife, $300. What this means, $600 on a quota is charged me because asset is going up. Asset is going up because it's put it like two property. When I was on a Social Security, he said for us, you got the two property because you got two separate bills. I said, this is the one property. I know that subdivide that one. He said for us, it's like two property. And that is the story. It's the letterbox is cost me fortune.
Yeah. Well, Barney, we'll try to get some sense out of the council about this. And while we've been talking, I have been contacted by somebody in the state government, and they said they're going to get your details and see if everything has been done according to the letter of the law here. It just sounds like it's mean by the council, particularly given that you and your wife, as you say, on the pension. Good on you, Barney. Barney Yankovic from Kilburn there joining us.
It's 15 minutes after 8. We're going to check traffic. And when we come back, why has a report about South Australian road safety been apparently buried? We'll find out next.
Morning, there are Ridleyton, a smash on South Road near Port Road, delays city bound, Elizabeth North, two-car collision, Main North Road near Woodford Road, and fella twisted traffic like Glenburn Road near Marion Road. Quite busy at the moment, the Porter Expressway at Port Adelaide, quite slow. Morford Road at Anzac Highway near the tram overpass works in a camera right now. Bartley Terrace at Westlake Shore. The Chemist Warehouse footy finals, half-price vitamins and cosmetics sale is on now. Stock up and save today. Shop in-store or online now at Chemist Warehouse. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G. The Big Hooah, you look refreshed.
I've had a bit of sunshine and I'm glowing.
Sporting quotes. Have you got one?
Isn't it? The one a lot of my coaches have used is it's never as good as it seems, it's never as bad as it seems.
That's a good
so
one.
It's a good one for you too, Rory, as we've discussed on the show a little bit about keeping level. But
The 5AA Sports Show.
Sorry, this is in your life coaching of Rowie.
I'm getting a lot out of these. Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Life's a journey. As you grow older, every step should bring you more of what you want. And at ECH, they understand that. As one of SA's largest retirement living and home care providers, ECH offers more in every sense. More help at home, more support with your health, or the perfect new home to downsize to. ECH won't tell you where you should be, but they'll always support you to get more out of life. Visit ech.asn.au or call ECH today.
Imagine you have a dog bounding across your garden of lush green turf. He jumps, he rolls, he lays on his back, feet in the air and gives himself a good old scratch. A dog really knows how to appreciate grass. And you can appreciate yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it. And importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
19 minutes after 8. I was looking forward to this publication. The Australian Road Assessment Program that the federal government runs through Austroads ranks roads on a 5-star scale to determine, where we need to do better, where improvements could be made, where the safety issues might arise. They look at the way in which the road's constructed, the directions, its speed limits. They look at all sorts of things. Now, the results were meant to come out yesterday. Except for Queensland and Tassie, which is where they're still being compiled and they'll come out later this year, except in South Australia, they haven't been published. And they haven't been published, according to the Advertisers reporting this morning, because the South Australian government told Austroads that they're withdrawing consent for the release of the data. Charles Mountain is the RAA Senior Manager for Road Safety. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What do you think this is?
I think it's not to do necessarily with withdrawn approval for release of the data as such. What it is our understanding is they're doing some final checks and assessment on the data, particularly to ensure that it's got the latest data from the roads which have recently been upgraded. So essentially it is coming, but it has been delayed, and as obviously it's not part of this initial release. But our understanding is it's not too far away.
Yeah. Hasn't there been an issue, though, Charles? Because I know that the federal motoring body has been calling for greater transparency in how all of this data is released. Is there any suspicion that this might be one of those things where governments are reluctant to have a full and frank discussion about how bad some of the roads are?
Well, I don't think in this particular case. I mean, certainly... you're right, it has taken a long time to get to this point, and obviously we are like all the other motoring organisations, and the AAA are grateful that it has reached this point with the federal government's coordination. So it is a really good outcome. And I have to say the Ausroads website, if people want to go and have a look at it, is really good. It provides a lot of very good information, and hopefully before too much longer we'll have the information from South Australia on there as well. But it is a really important program. It helps to provide what the current state of play is with our key road network. But more importantly, it helps to prioritise where investment can take place to ensure that the money that is being spent on the road network gets spent where it's most needed and have the greatest outcome. And of course, once the money has been spent, there's an opportunity to revise the ratings as well. So progressively you can see in true time what the investment has done in terms of improving safety across these corridors. At the end of the day, the aim is to get 80% of all our highways to 3-star rating or better, and that has a huge consequence in terms of the level of safety for road users. It's probably not quite clear, but effectively every time you go from increase a star rating from, say, 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, you effectively halve the likelihood and severity of the crash. So it's a significant improvement in safety, and obviously highlights why ongoing investment in our road network is so important.
To you, Fraser Ellis, what's your concern about this? Because, being over there on Yorks, you'd have plenty of roads that you know firsthand are rubbish. Do you smell a rat?
Well, yeah, I think this is an election coming up, and this would make it far easier for country members, I suspect, to advocate for improved roadworks. It would add some objectivity to the way that we could lobby government for expenditure and investment, and call out investment where it's maybe not necessarily needed.
So do you think that it's because we're so close to an election that something quite partisan might have happened with the handling of this data?
Well, it's a mystery to me, because as far as I understand, the work's all been completed and it's literally ready to hit send on the website, and consent to publish it was withdrawn last week. So I was getting touching base with these chaps at Austroads last year because I was keen to, add that star rating data to my kit bag, so to speak, and then they touched base with me on Monday and said, "I'm sorry, but we can't publish it." So there's got to be some reason. I don't think that the people of South Australia are so ignorant that they don't know that we've got a dilapidated road network already. So it's not as if we're keeping it a secret from them. There's no harm in publishing it, as best I can tell.
Fraser, thank you. Ben Hood is the Shadow Minister for Government Accountability and is called into the program. Ben, what do you think is going on here?
Well, good morning, boys. And look, to sort of echo Fraser's comments, I'm not exactly sure. Like, you're not going to knock over South Australians with a feather when you tell them that their road network's not up to scratch. Everyone knows that, most especially down here in the southeast and over in Fraser's Patch on the YP. Look, if I was a more cynical person, I'd kind of say, well, we've got an election coming up in March next year. I certainly hope that the data gets released before then, though, because we do need to know what's going on with our roads. This is a great program that gives a star rating, as Charles said, and Charles' own organisation, the RAA, has said we've got over a $2 billion backlog in road maintenance in this state. I'm a dad. I've got a 19-year-old who's driving on these roads. I want them to be safe, and I want to know the condition of the roads right now. So we've got NT, Western Australia, Northern Territory, New South Wales, Victoria, all have published their data. They have confidence in it. Why hasn't South Australia?
Yeah, fair point. Ben Hood, Liberal MLC there. Thank you for that. And also to Fraser Ellis and Charles Mountain.
Well, we've got Tom Kurtzatonis, the new Treasurer, coming up in just a moment. Maybe our first question to him might be about his former portfolio in transport.
Who's the Transport Minister now? Who is the new
Emily
Transport?
Burke.
Oh, that's right, of course. Well, I'm right.
New into the Paddy. You could give Paddy his credit. That was a Paddy Goldsmith. That's why he's the brains of the operation, keeping across these developments.
What about I didn't even remember that Gary Ablett Jr. had won the Brownlow? That was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? Hey, John has texted in from Colonel Light Gardens, God's country, Colonel Light Gardens, the cottage garden capital of South Australia. John says, read the Brownlow medal. The umpires are not allowed to see player statistics until after the game. This must be changed to prevent umpires from making major voting blunders. I think that's a good point that John makes.
We've got some differing... some people have texted in saying they changed the rule and they can see them.
Oh, really?
Which, if that is the case, it makes it even more confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think Wanganeen Miller had... Can you remember Tom Wren the Monday after that game? He came in here going, that is the greatest quarter of football anyone has ever played. He said the way that guy played that quarter... He said it's the best 30 minutes of football all year.
He came in and said he might be the best player in the competition.
Yeah.
It's one man who watches football professionally for his life's takeaway, but you know what? It wasn't the consensus among the umpires, that's for sure. Now, a little bit later today, make sure you tune into Leith Forest after 2 p.m. today because he's got Graham O'Neill and Lloyd Townsend from the NDIS provider Astara coming on, talking about their particular expertise in spinal cord injury. So that's taking place at 2 p.m. today with Leith Forest. If you've got an interest in spinal cord injuries, Leith will have you covered with two of the leading experts in the field after 2 o'clock.
What about this? Another ratepayer in Port Adelaide says that the local council, Port Adelaide Infield Council, I can't use this bloody computer. Here we go. Michael says, City of Port Adelaide, they sent us a rates notice for a shed because someone was paying us to store stuff in it.
How do they even find out about something like that?
I don't know. Crazy.
We need to get the council, people who investigate, rates notices to work on Operation Eclipse. They'd have the illegal tobacco trade out of business within 19 seconds.
Yeah.
By tomorrow.
Yeah. They'll be able to work out what's going on behind, the facade of the...
Make illegal tobacco, people, don't worry about applying police resources. They have to pay an extra set of council rates.
Yeah.
We'll cut the legs out from that industry by the end of the week. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, a separate higher threshold.
Yeah, exactly right. The council will do them out of business. 28 after 8, 5AA News is coming up. The Treasurer, Tom Kurtzatonis, next.
The SUV you haven't met yet. A Motor JQ has arrived, and Morford Vale is the only place you'll find them. Premium looks, smart tech, designed for beach getaways, back road breaks, and school runs with flair. Plus an 8-year warranty and Australia's first future price promise. You won't just love the ride, you'll love the peace of mind. Only available at a Motor JQ Morford Vale. Built for this wild life. Wildly cool. Main South Road. T's and C's apply.
Fuel cards, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motor Pass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork, just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motor Pass. Terms and conditions apply.
You don't just do a good barbie, you're the tong master. You're not just flipping snags, you've earned the title Backyard Hospitality Director, so you deserve the very best outdoor kitchen from Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens.
Choose from the best appliances at a bar fridge or a pizza oven, or stun your guests with one of their custom-made concrete bench tops. They do indoor concrete bench tops too. These handmade bench tops can really update any kitchen space. Custom made for you, every piece unique, especially for you.
Call for a consultation and quote today or visit the Seaford Meadows showroom on Farrow Circuit. The best backyard hospitality directors choose Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Go to adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
Need a quick dinner or snack hack? Whatever's in your fridge, refresh, remix and wrap it up with Simpson's Pantry wraps and flatbreads. They'll be absolutely wrapped.
Simpson's Pantry. Absolutely wrapped.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy and 17 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
The house has been extensively damaged by fire at Marston. The MFS were called to Barnes Avenue around 6:15 this morning. The property was vacant at the time with no reports of any injuries. The cause is yet to be determined. Well, a stolen Holden was spotted at Virginia in the early hours of this morning. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee says patrols later caught up with it.
The car took off from police, but after an investigation was later located at a Two Wells home. The alleged driver, a 51-year-old man from Hillbank, was arrested and charged with illegal use of a motor vehicle, and he was bailed to appear in court at a later date.
Checks on the car revealing it was stolen from a business last week. A former ambassador to the US is urging Anthony Albanese to pick up the phone to Donald Trump. Our Prime Minister has been omitted from the President's schedule during the UN General Assembly in New York. Arthur Sinodinos is not concerned by the snubbing, but says the PM has an optics problem.
It's not necessarily the disrespects Australia, but it looks that way because people keep speculating as to why there's not a meeting. If I was an advisor in the PM's office, I'd be saying, look, we've got to just nail this and move on, because it is leading to speculation about the state of the relationship.
Australian health experts maintain paracetamol is still the safest drug to treat pain and fever during pregnancy. The Trump administration has announced the use of Tylenol during pregnancy may be linked to an increased risk of autism. Studies do not show a direct cause and effect. Several charities have cut ties with Sarah Ferguson after a leaked email showed her apologising to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Hannah Sinclair has more from London.
At least 6 charities have now cut ties with Sarah Ferguson, including the Teenage Cancer Trust, which she has been a patron of for 35 years. The charities dropping her after a bombshell email emerged, revealing she apologised to pedophile Jeffrey Epstein for publicly disowning him. The email reportedly sent to Epstein in 2011 shows Sarah Ferguson humbly apologised for linking him to pedophilia, saying he was a steadfast, generous and supreme friend to her. But a spokesperson for the Duchess claims she only wrote the note because Epstein was threatening to sue her for defamation. These UK charities haven't hesitated to act, with most saying it's now inappropriate for the Duchess to stay involved with the organisations.
The winners for the latest round of tourism vouchers will be announced today. More than 123,000 people registered for the ballot, which this time focuses on areas hardest hit by the algal bloom. A total of 20,000 experience and accommodation vouchers will be allocated. If successful, you'll be notified via SMS and email. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Gold Coast midfielder Matt Rowell has won this year's Brownlow medal with 39 votes, finishing 7 clear of Collingwood's Nick Dacos. Crows captain Jordan Dawson had 27 votes and finished 4th, while Zach Butters got the most for Port Adelaide with 21 and was in a tie for equal 11th. Fremantle young gun Murphy Reid says he's extremely grateful meantime to have been drafted to such a great club after capping off his stellar debut season with the Rising Star Award.
Firstly, it's just an honour to win the award with such a stacked group of boys that played this year. So congratulations to all the boys that played this year, and thank the club, the staff, the players, the coaches. You guys have all been so great this year.
Audio there thanks to 7. Reid beat out Adelaide's Dan Curtin, who was second, and Brisbane's Levi Ashcroft. Well, the Wallabies have belief that they can upset the All Blacks in Saturday's first Bledisloe Cup clash. Australia heads into the top of the table rugby championship table in first spot. Prop Alan Alatoa says there's plenty of confidence amongst the squads after a comeback win against South Africa and then Argentina.
It just shows how strong this rugby championship is. Over the course of 2 weeks, everyone's won one and lost one.
And South African wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock has reversed his decision to retire and will join their ODI and T20 squads in Pakistan next month. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Redleyton, got a smash in South Road near Port Road, seeing delays city-bound. Elizabeth North, a two-car collision, Main North Road near Woodford Road. Firle, twisted traffic like Glenburn Road near Marion Road. And quite sluggish at the moment, Fitzroy Terrace North, Adelaide. Busy, Marion Road at the Anzac Highway intersection with the camera right now. Bartley Terrace at Westlake Shore. Support your cardiovascular system health with Blackmore's Omega Triple Super Strength Fish Oil. Available for a great price every day at Chemist Warehouse. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA weather, 17 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 18, 21 on Thursday and 23 on Friday. Right now it's 11 degrees on 5AA. Adelaide, always Adelaide.
Australia's cheaper home batteries program is here, and it's your chance to save thousands on a new home battery system with NRG Solar. With up to 30% off a battery installation, NRG Solar can help you claim rebates worth up to $18,500. Whether you're adding a battery to existing solar or starting from scratch, this is the moment to say goodbye to your power bills for good. Visit nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160 and get ready for lower bills and real energy independence.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Tell 24 minutes to 9. It is after 8:30 on a Tuesday morning, and historically this has meant we've had the Treasurer, Stephen Mulligan, in the studio with us. He, having announced his resignation, has handed the reins to a man who's been in the seat before, Tom Koutsantonis. Treasurer, good morning to you.
Will, how are you, David?
Good to see you, Treasurer. Congratulations on your elevation. Continuing the long run of Port Adelaide supporters, holding all the upper echelons in the Malinowskis government as well.
I just remind you also, both times I've become Treasurer, still have won premierships.
Oh, that's good.
Well, that's changed the tenor of the interview instantly.
Well, you know,
I thought you were going to say,
throwing it out
is that
there.
a commitment? Sturt premierships over the Ford estimates.
That's right.
That's not very like you. I thought you were going to say that both times you've been Treasurer, the Crows have failed to win a final.
Well, that'd be true too, unfortunately.
There is a bit of sweet justice there. No. I actually felt really sorry. I felt sorry for Tim Silvers, because I had a lot to do with him over the Crows at Theberton. And they are a very good organisation internally, right? They are very well run. And you could just tell they needed to win a final after all those years out. And it was very unfortunate, and I feel very bad for them, because it would actually have been a good outcome, especially for Tex.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him win a final. But I think, they could have done things a few differently, but that's life.
Well, are you going to do things differently this time, you're Treasurer? Because last time you were Treasurer, you had a few blues. You had the big blue with the banks, and in the end you had to abandon the plans to bring in what was effectively a tax on the banks, the big banks' profits when they were operating in South Australia. How different is it now with a right faction premier and a very close friend and confidant of yours as your boss versus a left faction premier in Jay Weatherall?
Look, I don't want to disparage Jay, because Jay and I are good friends, but I mean, treasurers and ministers reflect their premier, their leader, because the leader reflects the state. And Peter's a lot more fiscally conservative than Jay was. Jay was a revenue premier. He wanted more revenue for the state. Whereas the current Premier, Peter Malinowskis, is more interested in stability for business. He wants business to have no surprises from government. He doesn't want business to feel as if the government's not on their side. He wants government to be business's ally so they can go out and create jobs and economic activity. So, I reflect, all of our ministers reflect the values and the views of the Premier who's elected by the public. And that's what's going to be different this time. And Peter and I share very much a similar ideology. We're from the same grouping within the Labor Party. The Labor Party is, in South Australia, a lot more centrist than other political parties around the country. I mean, if you compared the Victorian Labor Party to the South Australian Labor Party, there'd be a lot of international and interstate commentators who would not recognise them as being sister parties. So I think there's a lot of difference, and I think you'll see probably a lot less interventionist policies than you may have seen under the Weatherall government.
Did the former Treasurer hand you a ticking deficit time bomb? Because you've got a razor-thin surplus this year of $18 million, and we've had all sorts of challenges since then. Whyalla, algal bloom, Bedford, we've learned more about. Are we going to get to December and get the mid-year budget review and go, we're actually in deficit?
I don't think so. I think revenues are strong. I think the discipline within the government is good. Spending is not out of control. If you look at Whyalla, how can you not invest in Whyalla? I mean, think of the counterfactual. If we had not stepped in Whyalla, we'd be facing now a town with no work. And there'd be massive social unrest and there'd be massive reconstruction of the economy up there, which would cost us a lot more. Now we've got the Commonwealth Government in with us, spending a lot more than we are. It's a good outcome. But the state's got to be mindful. I mean, we're not New South Wales. We're not Western Australia with rivers of gold. What we are is a state on the precipice of something quite important.
Speaking of Western Australia, you've historically been a minister who's been up for a fight. David mentioned the banks. Are you ready to go to war on the GST distribution?
Absolutely. It's outrageous. I mean, the idea that the Western Australian government can impact the Australian dollar with its iron ore sales and have a deleterious effect on every other economy in Australia, and then have a floor of 70%, which sees their state budgets have surpluses of $12 billion. It's not right. I mean, that's not what federation's about. It's not what HFE is about. It's about making sure that wherever you are in the country, the level of service you get is similar. And what you're seeing now is gold plating in Western Australia and the rest of the country trying to scramble to try and meet its needs. It's not fair.
To the point Will was making, Treasurer, in his question about deficit and so on the question of debt, you were politically close to Kevin Foley, who, as Treasurer, we had no debt.
He paid down debt. He got debt down to zero in the general government sector. Yes.
Should that be your target too?
I think you need to have a level of debt. I mean, governments need to have debt to fund productive infrastructure. We need to have borrowings. The idea that we could fund all of our infrastructure growth just out of revenues would mean we spend a lot less on health and a lot less on education. The question is whether it's sustainable.
But it's going up and up and up.
Yeah, look, we're going to hit over $30 billion at the end of the forward estimates of general government debt. And that is a considerable amount of money, but it is sustainable. I mean, when I left office as Treasurer, our debt levels was $6 billion. And we had surpluses across the forward estimates. Then COVID hit, and COVID was a big catalyst to debt. And we're funding a lot of infrastructure, $15 billion on the tunnels, the Women's and Children's Hospital. Again,
which is, now, do you believe that figure, $3.2 billion?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's got to come in on budget. Look, things change, escalation occurs, but I am confident we can get this in and get it done. And the question is, what's the alternative if we don't?
To David's question, though, are we assuming for a moment that you returned in government at the election next year? Does the next term of government, does the focus shift? Because those big spending projects are budgeted for.
Mm-hmm.
So does the government's mentality now have to shift to a period post big infrastructure spend to paying down that debt?
So I think Stephen said it previously. What we're doing now, what we're experiencing now is larger or higher levels of infrastructure spending than we would normally as a percentage of our budget or as a percentage of our population or gross state product. So we're going through that big bump now because we've got two pieces of big infrastructure we've got to bite off and chew and then move on. And what we'll do is we'll go back then to normal levels of infrastructure spending, which will allow us to pay down debt. If you're not delivering surpluses, that's when it becomes a problem because the surpluses mean less debt. Every time you deliver a budget surplus, you actually accrue less debt. So it's a good outcome, But ultimately, you've got to have sustainable levels of debt. Otherwise, you're spending all your time funding interest payments rather than funding productive infrastructure to grow the economy. And we're at that inflection point in the state, right? I believe we've got a once-in-a-generation premier. I believe for the first time since potentially Dunstan, people are looking at this state very, very differently. I mean, if you go into state, people ask about Peter. I mean, they know him. There's a consciousness of South Australia, and not in the usual way. And I think
the Rust Belt way.
Yeah, exactly, right? There is a way I think we can capture that and actually make South Australia something quite special. And it's not just about the visitor economy. It's not just gather round and live golf, but they are outcomes of a very different attitude to South Australia. And I think with that investment flows, I mean, when Live Golf was on, there are more private jets parked at Adelaide Airport than there are at Sydney. Now, those people who are coming here are high net worth individuals. And these people just don't turn up for the wine and the golf. They look around for opportunities. And then you see the tax advantages in South Australia compared to everywhere else. And you do get investment. You do get that sort of transaction flow. And that's what I'm keen to try and capitalise on. And that's what the Premier wants to do. Change the place once and for all. So we're not mendicants. We're not a Rust Belt state. We're actually a place you want to go and want to be.
Can I ask you, Tom Keats-Antonis, you're still a youngish guy, but you're known as the grandfather of the Parliament, which describes the longest-serving member of any Parliament. Has your political style changed over the years? Because you've been a bit of a human headline at times. Yeah. Turbo Tom.
Oh, yeah.
The 60 fines. Yeah. Creative swearing, I think, was the term you used for some of your full and frank
conversational swearing.
Conversational swearing with some public servants. Are you mellower now?
I don't think I've changed. I think people have a perception of politicians from what they see on TV, and you got to remember, I came to prominence at the end of a government rather than the beginning. And when you're at an end of a government, the government's enemies have grown. You know, governments have a time span, right? I came in at the end of the last government, and there was a certain je ne sais quoi to the way I conducted myself. But I think people who know me know that that's not really what I'm like.
But have you got friends? Can you have a civil discussion, say, with other Liberal MPs? Are there Libs that you get on well with, or because you do have that junkyard dog sort of demeanour?
Well, I get lovely messages from people like John Olsen and Graham Mingerson on becoming treasurer. Terry Stevens reached out to me. I've got one of my closest friends is David Ridgway, who's now the Agent General in London. When he was Trade Minister, he and I are quite good friends. But look, you know, Simon Birmingham and I have had a long relationship from young Labor, young Liberal days. But when it comes to the contest in Parliament, there's no quarter given. I mean, this is not. There are no silver medals in politics. You know, you win or you lose, and that's it. So, you know, I don't give a quarter in Parliament, and nor should I.
Treasurer, just before we let you go, obviously talking to you a lot about your new charge, but in your former guise as the Minister for Transport, you might have some insight into why the Australian Road Assessment Program report here in South Australia, whilst prepared, the South Australian government withdrew consent for it to be published. You may have heard Fraser Ellis and others sort of questioning whether there was political partisanship involved in that decision. Can you shed some light on it?
What are the chances of me saying to you, ask Emily Burke? No. From what I spoke to John Whelan about this. We're very keen to get this out, and we will get it out before the election. We want it out. We want it released. It's just not ready yet. And once we've got it in a form that we can release it, we will. We want the starter out as well. Remember, it was South Australia that moved at the IDM, which is the national body that of all transport ministers, that we actually make this public. I mean, I remember going to these meetings, people saying, well, we should absolutely stop and not allow this to be released. No, my view was, well, look, this is not the only reason we invest in road routes, right? Sometimes we invest in roads that don't need that much work, but they're key freight routes. And there are other roads that have very poor star ratings, or that will show very poor star ratings, that we won't invest in because they're not as used or utilised. So this is not a be-all and end-all, but we should release it so people can see it. But then there'll be an education program where we say, look, I know you guys said this road, which has got a low rating, and you want us to invest in it. But the truth is, the Horrocks Highway is a lot more important.
That sounds like the part of it that hasn't been completed is the communication strategy, not the actual the nuts of the report.
Well, we had a bit of weather issues here in the collection through the IPAVE data and the worst and the other stuff that we'll collect in that data, but we will release it. So it's not far away, and I think the RAA have had that explained to them, and I think they're comfortable with that time frame.
Tom Keats-Antonis, new Treasurer of South Australia, back for what will be a monthly catch-up here in the studio. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Keats-Antonis.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll check traffic and come back with more in just a moment.
At Ridleyton, a smash on South Road near Port Road, seeing delays city-bound. Elizabeth North, delays clearing from an earlier two-car collision on Main North Road near Woodford Road, and fell a twisted traffic light on Glenburn Road near Marion Road. Busy South Road, Edwardstown, quite slow Diagonal Road at Brighton Road with the Canberra South Terrace in the Parklands. Looking for a serious speed upgrade? Optus NBN just got way faster internet speeds for the whole family to be online. Search Optus NBN, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Some milk on our shelves travels further than you do on holiday. Not milk from Fleurieu Milk Company. Our milk is proudly homegrown, home bottled and delivered straight from the rolling paddocks of South Australia's Fleurieu Peninsula. Freshness isn't a buzzword for us. We live and breathe it 24 hours a day. When you buy from Fleurieu Milk Company, you're supporting our incredible farming families and doing SA proud. Look for Fleurieu Milk Company in your supermarket.
City Discount Tires. Get saving now with City Discount Tires. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tires, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for four-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttires.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value. City Discount Tires.
When it comes to retirement, make your choice Living Choice Australia. Experience the difference at Living Choice Flagstaff Hill on Wednesday, 24th of September with tours, information sessions and a keynote speech from former media professional Marcus Pearce.
Marcus is a former journalist, radio and TV producer, and he's obsessed with helping people create their exceptional life. He'll share powerful insight on longevity, purpose and thriving in retirement, or giving a vibrant new outlook on retirement living.
Whether you're planning ahead or actively exploring retirement living, this event is your chance to connect, learn and be inspired. Find your future and make Living Choice your choice for retirement.
Living Choice Flagstaff Hill, Wednesday, September 24 at 10:30am. RSVP at livingchoice.com.au.
Franco Zeffirelli's spectacular production of Verdi's Aida comes exclusively to Adelaide February 5 and 6, starring Jonas Kaufman, Angel Blue and a cast of hundreds. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime event. Book now at Ticketek.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camping gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of bull bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
8 to 9, lots of texts coming through from the police home care text line on our new Treasurer's First interview. For joining us regularly on 5AA Breakfast. Not all the feedback will be positive like that from our next caller, the Shadow Treasurer, Sam Telfer. Sam, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, gents. Well, I reckon you could probably summarise that conversation by saying a letter doesn't change its spots. I think even the Treasurer is admitting that, you know. What you've seen from him previously is what you're going to get as Treasurer, and I guess that's why, you know, the Premier's chosen him as the Treasurer. He knows what he's going to get, even though I think that most South Australians look at it pretty unimpressed.
On you, Sam. Thank you, Sam Telford, the Shadow Treasurer. We have mixed bag of texts.
Read a few out. We've got a little bit of time.
Yeah,
it's interesting because it is a
genuinely
broad sweep, isn't it?
Mixed bag. Cameron said, listen to the Treasurer. It sounds like he's changed for the better. He seems to be more mature and more thoughtful. I hope it continues. Conversely, this one celebrates Foley for getting rid of debt. Then in the same sentence says, no, I'm not aiming to get rid of debt because you have to have some level of debt. Give me a break. One here from Bill in Westlake. Can the state even afford to have another hospital? Could the old Women's and Children's Hospital become a general hospital once the new Women and Children's Hospital opens? What are they going to do with the land there?
I would imagine,
sell it
yes, I would imagine surely to offset some of the cost, because that land would be worth a fortune.
It's a huge area.
And what, could you get more prime real estate?
And they'd go mega high-rise there.
You'd think
certainly
so.
The same height as the hospital.
You'd think so.
Which is what? How many stories is it? About 10?
Not sure.
8? I don't know. One here saying he needs to tackle the CFMEU influence in South Australia. He does, actually. And I'll tell you what, letting those Victorian yahoos get their grubby hands on every EBA that's going to be struck at the new Women's and Children's Hospital, good luck building the thing for $3.2 billion if John Setker's cronies have got any say in how it's run. And let's just sit back and watch millions of dollars leave South Australia and go straight into the hands of the CFMEU and the Victorian Master Builders Association through Incolink if that happens.
Looms is a big fight, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me, there is some stuff happening on that front. With
Don't do yourself out of a breaking date at 3 minutes to 9. You've done that before.
Yeah.
Fuel Watch on this Tuesday morning. It's better to be a member with RAA Road Service. The cheapest, haven't been a see unleaded under $1.60. So if you do out there, fill up because it'll be a good price. The best we've had at a spot is the United Grand Junction Road at Wingfield, $1.61.9. The OTR West Terrace, $1.62.9. The Ampol Mitcham, $1.62.9. And the cheapest diesel is up over $1.70. It's the United at the airport, $1.71.5. The best spots for petrol, so keep an eye out for that on the, all thanks to RAA. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA Road Service. Hey, just a reminder for people who might have just tuned into the last hour, we gave a bit of love to our listeners before 7:30 this morning with our AFL Grand Final ticket competition. If you missed it, you missed a clue, but the good news is you didn't miss out on the tickets because it didn't go off. So we go into Wednesday, which then becomes our 8th clue that we've provided thus far, and it either goes off tomorrow or it goes off Thursday. There's no Friday in this competition.
2 more days.
Because
You've got to go to Melbourne on Friday.
You've got to fly to Melbourne.
You have to get on a plane.
Be a bit mean to ask someone to, just jump on a plane.
Yeah.
A couple of hours notice.
We've got good news and bad news. The good news is you won tickets to the grand final. The bad news is the flight leaves in 20 minutes.
It leaves imminently. I like we get to this point of the competition, we've got enough clues that everyone's hazarding a guess, and we're not reading them out. So it's not like we're ignoring your texts on the police home care text line. We just don't want to prejudice other guesses and so forth.
People are guessing.
And who knows, some of them might be right.
Too.
Exactly.
Will won't tell me.
So
he's like a vault.
All I'll say is, if you think you know it, make sure you're tuning into the program tomorrow.
Know it? I wrote it.
Police. Flights, tickets, accommodation. It is all involved in this massive prize. So don't miss out. You're going to tell your joke now?
No, I'm not. You can't tell that joke.
Okay.
You get sacked.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell the joke?
No, I don't want you to tell the joke.
Is that what's really going on?
I will advise you not to give away a breaking date or indeed tell the punchline. Well, you did tell the punchline, but not the rest of that joke.
You just can't tell all the stuff that comes before the punchline.
Indeed. So tomorrow morning in the program, we will have that. We'll have Sean Fuster will be going around the courts. Graham Goodings is coming up after 9 o'clock this morning, so make sure you stick around for Graham. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and we will catch you tomorrow from 6 o'clock.